All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our stream of The Widows, our Blades in the Dark one shot. And if you're unfamiliar, Blades in the Dark is a tabletop role playing game created by John Harper. Very, very great system, and I'm excited to play it with all of you lovely people tonight. So I want to thank all of the players that are joining us. The sexy surfer girl, fish want to be her, sharks want to be with her. Shannon playing Dafina Lamone. We got the expert child wrangler, Justin, playing Valletta Jacobs. Our resident anime, may I say in my maybe connoisseur, Austin, playing Mara Olga. These cringe faces I'm really living for. And you know her, you love her, Aubrey. It's your stream. Thank you so much for letting us play tonight. Playing Mira Val. So how this is gonna go tonight is we actually did a little prep session where we wanted to get to know the game a little bit better and practice. So we did a heist playing as the husbands of these characters. So we're gonna do some kind of introductions to our fantasy world. We're gonna fill you in on what we did with these husbands and introduce our new characters to you. So, to slide you into the fantasy city of Duskfall, I want you to picture this with me. We find ourselves on these cold, foggy streets crowded with row houses, twisting streets. We weave through the neighborhood of Coleridge. There's these dense clouds of black smoke, showers of sparks, burning cinders, these soot-covered workers that are hacking up black bile as they trudge home from the factories. There's a boss lashing at a worker for an infraction. We ain't paying you to waste product. A carriage rushes by, pulled by two massive goats. There's a newsboy standing on an upturned crate, waving a paper. Explosions at Skovlin refineries, electroplasm shortages to come. We zoom out, and the city's landscape is just crisscrossed with hundreds of little waterways and bridges. There's black smog of chimney smoke just everywhere. Trains, steamboats chugging along. So, to explain a little bit, 1,000 years ago, there was this cataclysm that shattered the sun and broke the gates of death. So now this entire world is in perpetual darkness and haunted by vengeful spirits that can never pass on. So they have these mass spirit wardens that work to eradicate the spirit of anyone that dies within the city's lightning barriers. And their arcane spirit bells ring with sharp clangs anytime somebody dies. So we can picture a death seeker crow as it leaves the belfry of the crematorium, soaring to find a fresh corpse, and plunge to the harbor where we see titanic metal ships of Leviathan hunters setting out to the ink-dark void sea. So what they do is they track massive demonic terrors and they extract their electroplasmic blood. And then it's refined and used to power the entire city, including the circle of crackling lightning barriers that keep out the vengeful ghosts beyond in the Deathlands. So to summarize and to quote the rulebook itself, you're in a haunted Victorian-era city trapped inside a wall of lightning powered by demon blood. Any questions? Yeah, so we are so excited to play tonight. So let's jump right into the story of, our crew of husbands. They're standing outside this fine old manor house belonging to the Dimmer sisters, this elusive group of occult witches. And the grounds of the manor are on the edge of Misty Shore Park, which is like this dark and overgrown space that overlooks the River Dusk. and the Deathlands beyond. So in old folk ballads, young lovers that couldn't be together would come here and commit suicide in this park. I mean, maybe that's not true, but it's certainly haunted now. And we can tell as these four men creep across this overgrown grounds, but there's a change in the wind, and a spirit starts to materialize. A young girl with pale skin, she has this glow about her, almost like the moonlight itself, but at the same time she kind of seems to like suck all of the light, because everything's dark in Duskfall, so everyone has to carry these like either oil lanterns or electroplasmic lanterns with them, and it's almost as if all these like lights start to dim in her presence, and she turns towards the group, eyeing one man in particular. Archie, is that you? And who we see has stepped forward is Tink. Aubrey, could you describe Tink for us?
Tink is a shorter, stout man. He's probably like 5'8". Big, like bushy mustache, like red hair, freckles. And he like looks like he eats pretty well. Like he kind of has this like very cheerful, very gentle quality about him. Very much like a friendly person.
We see as this ghost, her curiosity like quickly switches to rage. She is just like a true terror of twisting features. You can tell there's like this surge of electroplasmic energy about her, something about to happen, and Tink pulls out a device, being the expert on all things tinkering, little gadgets, things like that, and there's this white flash. But as the light recedes, we're no longer in Misty Shore Park. We find ourselves earlier in the day at Mira's laboratory. She has also had her own little explosion. There's like this bang, a flash, smoke clouding up the lab. What do we see when this kind of smoke clears and we see Goggle?
Well, she finds everything funny, so any kind of reaction to an experiment or something she's playing around with invigorates her. She'd rather something explode than do nothing. And she's like waving the smoke around a little bit, and as she waves a bit out of her face, you see that her hands are... The skin around her skeleton structure is translucent in both of her hands. And as she waves the smoke away and everything, you see that, again, half of her mouth is a bit translucent in parts. You can see teeth underneath, kind of creating this, like, permanent grin on her face. As she, like, swats the smoke away and starts like fixing up whatever spilled, broke, whatever happened on the table. She just is like giggling to herself and fixing everything up and trying the experiment again, essentially, to see if she can do it again.
As this happened, we see Tink come around the corner, coughing as well and wafting away the smoke. Married for 8 years and you still know how to make me hot rice? And he goes over, he opens a window.
Well, I mean, the worst thing that could happen to an experiment is nothing happened at all, right? So I would say that this was a success in some kind of capacity.
Well, I will trust in your genius, my love.
As you always should.
Going to be out late tonight. Don't wait up for me.
Sure?
Oh,
I always need some help later tonight. I like to stay up.
I'll be home as soon as I can, my love.
Promise?
But don't forget, on the morrow, we've got that appointment with the physiker.
Hmm? Oh, yes, the appointment with the physiker. Yes, of course. Sometimes things just... yes, the physiker. I remember. she's like, as she's like talking, very much doing things. She's never stationary.
He kind of comes up to her and like he forces her to set down what she's holding, and he takes her hands in his, just like really forcing her to pay attention. Picture it, you, me, a little one running around, driving us mad, making us pull out all our air.
And you already say I do that too much.
He looks at you very seriously. It's gonna work this time. I know it is.
I'm going to remember the physical, don't worry.
All right. And he gives you a kiss on the cheek, and we cut back to Misty Shore Park. You know, our crew has successfully crept up onto the grounds, and they're surveying the courtyard that they know this delivery that they're after is going to be arriving in. But there's a guard standing watch at the storeroom door, and the men kind of collectively turn towards Matthias, or Volatile. Justin, could you please describe what he looks like for us?
Volatile, or Vol, is a slender and scruffy man. He's got some short, dark blonde hair that kind of falls over his face. His eyes are cold and they're dark, and he has a scar across his right cheek. He wears a pitch black coat, a pitch black cloak over a dark mismatch of a dark gray vest and a dark jacket. And the flash of metal of blades can be seen underneath his cloak as he moves, and it flows through the wind as he starts to step forward.
Yeah, he crosses the courtyard, and it's like he's one of the shadows, you know, like so stealthy. There's like this quick, you know, flash of like dark and body parts, and the guard is, you know, like taken out, dragged back over to the, you know, Misty Shore Park to be disposed of. But as, you know, his cloak like flashes in front of the camera, we see it transitions to where, you know, instead of seeing him at, you know, the job in the dead of night, we see him in his cramped little apartment in Coleridge. And you know, he's putting on his shadow cloak, his work gear, and he sees his wife Valletta walk in. And there's like a little bit of surprise that registers on his face, and then he just goes back to like smoothing down his collar. Could you describe what Valletta looks like?
Valletta walks in, 5'5" with light skin. She's got gray eyes. Her face is she's got a red scarf kind of around. As she walks in, she pulls this red scarf down from her face, and she pulls this hood back, and she's got this dark pitch black hair that comes down to a braid along her shoulders. She also has a very similar black cloak that flows down to the bottom, and very similarly, she has blades that are slid in pockets and in belts. That she has multiple belts that also have pouches attached to them that look like they could hold a variety of things, maybe whatever she desires to maybe steal or nick from somebody might passing by. But she's got dark grays and reds underneath this cloak as she comes into the apartment.
Yeah, he turns and he like nods at you, and he's like, "Going out with the
Maddie?
lads tonight?"
Oh, I didn't know you had a job. Is this with Booker?
Oh no, you know me, just always prepared to get into a little trouble. Hopefully nothing, just some drinks, but
And what, you didn't invite me?
it's the lads' night, you know. If I bring you everywhere, they're gonna skin me alive. They
Fine.
already say that you've got me on a leash.
I mean, they're right.
Yeah, but they don't need to know that.
Well, all right. Have fun,
Yeah.
but not too much without me.
Relax, love. And he comes over to you, and he like gives you like a kiss, and he's like holding you in his arms, and he's like, "It won't be long now. We're
And
getting
she-
out to Coleridge, away from all this soot, smoke." To be
Can't
set
wait.
up in a proper house.
As she like reaches her hand up to like almost caress his face. Before she does, she holds up one of his pouches that she nicked from his belt in front of his face. You gotta be a little bit more careful than that. And she'll put it back and then give him a little touch on the side of his face.
That's so good. He just shakes his head and kisses you and goes out the door. But I think like, I mean, you've been together for a while, so you pick up on the slightest thing of your partner, and we can kind of see it on Valletta's face of like, as after he leaves, like there's a change in
Her
her
eyes go
expression.
fierce.
Yeah, something's up.
Interesting. Not with Booker tonight. She'll open a couple of drawers and like look around. It's not here. Did he take it? Why would he take it? The necklace is missing.
And we're gonna cut there to back to our job. Our crew is slinking through an open window, quiet, can't hear a pin drop. They're enter into a storeroom that is stacked high with shelves, and you can hear the distant chatter in the back of the room of two other Dimmer sisters that are waiting for this shipment arrive. And there's enough time for these crew members to get into place, and in particular we see a man with a rifle strapped to his back, scaling onto one of the like high shelves, getting the rifle set up, the scope. We can see down his viewfinder, trained on the outside of the courtyard. We see the carriage, the covered carriage, driven by a couple thugs. They arrive, rap on the door. The Dimmer sisters are coming out to greet them, telling them to unload and where to put it in the storeroom. And all the while we see the scope following all of these individuals, and it zooms in to the trigger finger, and there's a sharp bang. But when we zoom out, it's not the same man. It's Mara on a job. Can you describe Mara for us?
Yeah, so my name is Mara Oga, and when I was little, I thought I'd be safe. Get married, have children, start a life. In the Imperial Army, I was a renowned sharpshooter. And there, I met my husband. But I should have known that war would eventually break out. By the time I was 21, I was ready to fight. But war has a toll. I couldn't stand it any longer. My family, back home, as war refugees, had to fled to Scotland. Using my skills in explosives, as well as sharpshooting, I was able to, with the help of my commander, fake my own death in an explosion. Now, I carve my own life out as a hired gun for pay, keeping my family safe from Imperial retribution. Mara is a rough, cold woman, mainly still wearing her waxed coat and her black working boots, and covered in some amount of mud. Always. And you can always, some amount of mud. Always carrying her rifle on her back. And when she can, trying to relieve the pain with the cigar or a cigarette. So that is Mara. I
love it. And as her shot like echoes out, we can hear in the distance, "Find that shooter!" And Mara retreats from her rooftop perch. We can see she's in the Sheets, which is like this Char Hollow neighborhood of washers and tailors, seamstresses. sheets billowing in the wind, strung between the crowded buildings. It's perfect cover for a professional such as herself to disappear into, as these washers are scrubbing clothes and tossing the dirty water into the streets. And she vanishes in a flash. And we switch back over to the heist. Absolute chaos, shots ringing out. There's an explosion over the River Dusk where, the canal port is. The thugs that are unloading boxes of spirit essence that you guys are after are just like quickly overtaken in this flurries of blows and gunfire. There's a dimmer sister. She like catches a bullet and she falls. Her blood is like soaking into the dirt. Her eyes shine lifeless, and you can hear the spirit bells clang, 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 marking her death. It's not going to be long before they arrive, and you guys can all sense that. So it's like hurried on to get these carriages. And another sister, cradles her body. No, 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 no. She looks up and she sees the nose. He bashes in one of the thugs' face. He steps up to the carriage driver's seat. Blood is splattered across the side of his face, and he quickly wipes it away. But when he drops his hand, we're no longer in this heist. We're back home, where we see him in the past sitting over this large table that's coded in like blueprints and maps, other documents. There's this like dim, low-hanging electroplasmic light that illuminates the papers, but it also like casts sharp shadows across his face. So like this large nose that he has just seems even bigger than it actually is. It's not gonna work. Even if we catch them by surprise, there's no way of knowing how many Dimmer sisters are gonna be there. Eager to carve out our spirits from our very flesh, I'm sure. And then we see... Oh, actually, can you describe the nose for us before I get too far ahead of myself?
Yes, absolutely. He is... his name is Edward. He is a very clean-cut man wearing kind of like a three-piece pinstripe suit, hair slicked back in a very controlled manner. As Julia said, honkin' nose in the middle of his face, where he gets his name, the nose. Pocket watch coming out of one pocket. He checks it occasionally when he's anxious, especially, and that's kind of him.
All right. As he is like nervously wiping his face, we see Defina rise from her seat, and she walks from the shadows of the room into the light. What does she look like?
So she's a very tall, slender woman. Very dark black hair with streaks of some white in it. She's kind of an older woman. She wears flowy, like long flowy clothes that are kind of blues and purples, and kind of has this like mystical air about her.
I love it. Okay, so Edward is sitting there, this is... He's losing faith in this plan. What does Defina do to draw him back?
Darling, you know that you can do this. This is something we've been planning for months, and you are a very smart man. You have the plans, you have the maps, you understand what you're doing. And she's gonna like gently lay a hand on his shoulder and maybe squeeze a little and go, you have to do this for us, for our family.
You're right. We'll pull through. And we cut back to the heist as we see these carriages racing through narrow streets. The wheels are clanging over these stone bridges as they cross these intricate waterways that just, cut through all of the city. The Dimmer sister from before, the one that was mourning her friend's death, is chasing after them. You could see the vengeance in her eyes. And we see Tink, wheezing in the back of the carriage. He's caught a bullet. His friend is standing over him, putting pressure on the wound. There's yelling and chaos. The nose yells back to them, prepare for more trouble. And we see as the sister's eyes shine silver. You know, they glow like molten metal, and she's attuning to the ghost field. She lets go of the reins, and this wisping silver energy extends from her hands, and the cobble of the street cracks, the wheels of the carriage catch, axles break, goes tumbling off the stone bridge into the inky waters of the canal. Just these like soundless screams as the men are pulled down into the waters. Them and their treasure, that spirit essence that they risked everything for, sinking to the bottom of the. And it's a few minutes until those above the canal can hear that familiar clang, 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 marking more deaths.
Minutes? Minutes?
Oh,
Anyway.
maybe not minutes. I don't know. I don't know how long. Whatever.
That's just
How long is
sad.
the ground? I
That's
don't know.
just sad. No, I'm
Hey,
just
my
pointing out
husband
that
can
it's
hold his
sad.
breath for a very long time. No.
They're all also Olympic swimmers. I
Hell
don't know if you
yeah.
know
All
the
of them are Michael
backstory, but-
Phelps,
yeah.
actually.
I had that in my notes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Edward uses his nose like a snorkel.
Actually, in my notes it says
Incredible.
Tink didn't die, so I don't know.
Oh shit, my bad. Here, let me. So it takes days before the bodies are recovered. Actually, the spirit wardens kind of give up after 24 hours because like it's too late for them. You know, the spirit's already split from the material body. They don't really give a fuck anymore. They're like, no, too late. So it's actually the gondoliers who are much more beloved by the city, and they're the ones that like finally pull them out so that they can be put to rest. And we see Defina Lamond, you know, standing on the edge of the bank, you know, I assume clutching, you know, her silks to her body, and a gondolier steps up, takes off his cap, and can you identify this as your husband, ma'am?
Yes. This is him.
If it's not too much trouble, do you think you could take a look at the other men? We'd like to tell the families so they can be put to rest.
Of course. It would be no problem whatsoever.
And we skip a little bit into the future. Mira, you're back from from the funeral service, and you're walking back to your lab right now, but it's just kind of finished up. How have you been taking the news of your husband's death?
I think Mira before this was already someone very into her work. Like, she was very much someone who worked from dawn until dusk. She works all the time now. She is very much someone who has locked herself in her lab. No one's really seen or heard from her. This is probably the first time anyone's heard anything from her in however long it's been. She didn't cry at the funeral. I don't think she's cried yet at all. Like, I think she's just very much like, oh yeah, my next project, let's get to work on that. Yes. So
Speaking of which, when you arrive back at the lab, you see that the door is swung open. And when you walk inside, your equipment is being boxed up. Your research notes scattered across the floor. There's men, you know, carrying out your life's work. You know, one scar-faced man in particular, you know, holding a clipboard, directing the others where to go.
Excuse me, I don't know why you're here. Could you tell me, please? Put that back, you can't touch that, don't! Please, tell your men, this is highly volatile equipment. Please tell them to put it down immediately. Please. No, don't.
This equipment doesn't belong to you anymore.
I built it. Of course it belongs to me.
Not according to this. And he shows you some documentation your husband's signature on a contract. He put the deed to the laboratory up as collateral for a loan, a big loan. One you definitely don't have the money to pay back, right?
Who's this for? Who do I have to talk to get this written off? I did not sign on this. This is my lab. What? No. What? Who do I talk to about this?
I'm the one you talk to about this. And I'm telling you, lady, this lab ain't yours anymore.
That's what you think. You don't even know where to begin. And she's just gonna turn around and grab a few things,
Alright.
grab a toolbox or something, that's fucking mine. And she's gonna be you'll see. You'll regret this.
They kind of wave you off, they don't really pay you any mind. Oh, she's just some, mourning widow, tough luck, but not our problem. And they're essentially repo men, so they're used to people being upset with them.
Mhm.
But we're gonna cut over to Valletta. You are home in your cramped little Coleridge apartment, but now it feels pretty big, pretty empty now that Matthias isn't here to constantly bump into you and get in your way all the time. How have you been handling the news?
She's kind of, got dried tear streaks down her face as she smacks the table in front of her. Fuck! You had to go and fucking die. God. And she kind of puts her head in her hands. You had to go and fucking die and take the fucking necklace with him. Damn. She's and you can see tears start to well in her.
There is oh, sorry. I don't mean
No.
to interrupt you.
No.
Okay. There is a knock at the door. And when you open it up, it's your old friend, Booker Darmo. His blue coat uniform is covered in a thin layer of soot. He's got this thick beard and mustache, broad shoulders, lined face. Valletta.
She just hugs him at the door. And then drags
He
him.
just wraps you up in the tightest, bone crunching hug. And when you finally release, he was a good man. As good as they come in these parts.
You knew nothing about this?
About what?
How he went and got himself offed.
He said something about one last job. One last job, and then, you and him were gonna go out, have a real family life, but I assumed... he told you everything.
I knew nothing. I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing. We had it. It was all set.
I actually, I didn't just come to pay my respect. I came with a warning as well. The inspectors, they've been putting together a case against you. A strong case. One I can't get you out of this time.
Booker. Come on.
What were you thinking, stealing from Lady Rosalind Kelly?
That was what was supposed to set us up. There didn't need to be another job. But he was always so greedy. And she smacks the table. Thank you. Sorry. I appreciate it. Everything you've done for us.
Listen to me, because what I'm about to tell you is the only shot you've got. I've heard it on good authority that this heirloom, this necklace, is very important to the family, and getting it back is more important than Lady Kellis trying to put you in the ground. If you could ensure that it's returned, they're willing to go light on you with the sentence. And now look, I know some lads down at Iron Oak Prison. I can put out word for you. Make sure it's not too bad down in the hole while you ride this one out.
I don't even know where to look for it. I don't
What
have
do
it.
you mean look for?
He took it. It's gone. We had it, and we were gonna be set. And now it's gone, and so is he. See the shit that I'm in now?
Oh, bastard.
She just shrugs and kind of like slumps into her chair defeatedly.
I'll buy you as much time as I can, Valletta, but you're gonna need some serious pull. Some serious pull. If you want to bribe your way out of this one.
She just shakes her head and then looks up. Thank you. She'll stand up and hug him again.
And we're gonna cut to Defina. You are standing at the service of Edward, surrounded by his very, very large family, and even more working associates. So Edward Lamond was the next in line to head the family business, which was the largest Skovlander crime syndicate in the entire city. So you never have a moment alone, you know, as his widow. The news of his death spread like wildfire. How are you handling?
I think very public facing, as a widow should. I've traded out all of my blues and colorful clothes for blacks, you know, wearing a veil covering my face, blotting my eyes with tissue. Whether or not people see me crying is a different story because I'm covered by the veil. And I think when I am in those very slim moments behind closed doors, nervous about what's going to happen, knowing that the job failed. I think sad, in the back of my mind sad, but more nervous about the potential outcomes of what's going to happen.
As you're standing, you know, the service coming to a close, his mother, this, you know, really severe, wiry old woman, like pinched face, she just kind of like radiates with authority, you know, as, you know, like she has been running this shit for a long time. She steps up to you and she slaps you across the face. You did this. You took my son from me.
This is bold coming from a mother of a crime family. You think that I could...
You were always pushing all the generosity this family gave you, and it was never enough. You had to go meddling with demons.
You might have lost a son, but I lost a husband. We're both mourning the loss of Edward. This is not easy on anybody.
You might call yourself a Lamond, but you will never be a part of this family. I should have never let him marry a shiprat like you. And she is gonna take the urn with his ashes in it and walk away. But in this moment, there's bigger problems, because spotted in the crowd is someone you know to be a dinner. In fact, she was the one that pushed you out of the spirit train some years ago. And I mean, amongst, you know, this group of Skovlanders, you know, they're all very light-skinned, and, you know, you're from the Dagger Isles, so you've got that, like, tan from being on and off ships from most of your early life, but, like, this woman sticks out. Her skin is like a deep black, like the void sea itself, and her hair falls in, like, beaded dreads. She has a simple dress, black shawl, and an oil lantern, like, swinging from her hand. Like, just looking at you like a nightmare in the waking world. You know she wants to talk.
I'm gonna make my way over and stand next to her. like next to her, not facing her, and just, why do you come today on my husband's funeral?
She speaks quietly, discreetly, but with a voice of authority. Your mother-in-law is right. It was your greed for the spirit essence that led to your husband's death.
My husband made these plans all on his own. He was the mastermind behind it all. It was not me.
I am sure you let him think that.
What do you want from me?
Your family is keen on making deals, yes? I'll make you a deal. Replace the spirit essence lost to the canal, and I won't kill you. She raises a heavy hand that has like rings all over it. You have 2 weeks. And she leaves. And we cut, and Mara, slid under your door is a letter. When you open it, you recognize the handwriting to be of your old friend, Defina. One of the very few people that knows about your past life, you know, your time in the Imperial Army. What does this letter say? You know, how do you react to it?
So Mara probably gets up from the couch or whatever, not really expecting a letter of all things. Shit. And she takes the letter and she walks out to the her deck or whatever outside, and she opens it up. Hands kind of shaking. She does it, and the letter reads, Mara, I hope this letter finds you in good health. I regret to inform you of some news that has traveled my way. Meet me at the usual place, Madame Mask. And kind of clipped on is a picture of Mara's dead husband from the scene itself. Mara kind of lets out a deep sigh, unclips the photo and kind of tucks it into the inner pocket of her coat. Flips out her like really old Zippo kind of lighter, lights the letter on fire, pockets the lighter again, pulls out a cigarette, lights it off the letter, kind of tosses it aside before slumping back against the wall, taking a long drag, letting it out, and you can see one little tear kind of stream down her face.
Cool.
Before
cool.
fading to black.
Oh my god, I love it. All right, so we know now that, you know, Defina, she's in a bind. You know, being the mastermind that you are, the Dimmer sisters weren't the only target that you pursued. You know of another that has the kind of spirit essence that, you know, you're now expected to replace, but you can't do it alone. So, I don't know, maybe we should start with like that meeting between Defina and Mara at your usual spot. And yeah, we got to get this band together.
Nice.
Best part of a heist.
All right, so where is this like usual spot that you guys would?
Yeah, where is it?
Yeah, that's a great question.
How about you know, there's so many canals in Duskfall, so like under the bridge that like goes over a canal, there's, you know, it's not a consequential street at all, you know, like nothing really but like a beggar that passes by, and it's just like you like with your, you know, handheld oil lamp, there's just like the faint glow from that. Maybe you snuff it out as you guys, you know, go to meet each other and like speak, you know, under this bridge in the darkness.
Sounds beautiful. Marha, my friend, You've heard the news. Your husband has passed.
I always told him I was a better shot.
Well, seems like you might be right in this case. I could use your help, you know.
Yeah, like always.
Oh, now, I don't need to be so rude about it.
You're right. It's no way to speak to an old friend.
I could say the same for you. But, my dear, I'm in a bit of trouble, you see. The Dimmer sisters have pinned the blame on me for this whole falling out of our husband's death, and I need to make it up to them. I need to get back their shipment that they lost, and I could use you. You know, you've always been very helpful to me.
You know you can count on me.
Thank you. And for what it's worth, my husband always talked so kindly of yours, and he seemed to very much love you.
Good to know that they were. Well, he had some friends after moving to Scotland.
I will keep in touch with what is to come.
Sounds good. And she pulls out a cigarette and lights it.
Do you have an extra by any chance?
Fine.
Oh, thank you.
She tries not to use more lighter fluid and she lights the other cigarette off of hers.
Got any gum in there?
All right, so what is Defina's strategy for getting the other widows on board?
So it would be, I think beneficial to somehow have found out about the equipment being taken from Mira, and about also, the potential lawsuit against Void, because I feel like those could be very good bargaining chips for me. Kind of offering, if I know, that the necklace is down with her husband, I know where he was last, so that's a really good place to start looking. And then I assume with Mira, finding a way to get her stuff back to her with goggles.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like you have a really solid social network. You're always plotting, always like hearing things from people. I think there's been a little bit of a falling out, like some people in the, especially after the show that Edward's mother made at the funeral, like you're on some people's shit list. Some people blame you for his death, and he was very like beloved within the community. So I think there's some people that are now less likely to help you, but you definitely, have enough after, all your years of being here in Dustfall to pick up these bits of information. So yeah, I think you know everything you need to know.
Great. I guess with that being said, that I'll knock on Goggles' door as soon as I can.
You probably hear a bunch of crashing from behind, a lot of like metal hitting metal, electric sounds. And the door like swings open, and it's like a big giant poof of like uncombed curly red hair, and just like Goggles sitting there with these giant steampunk glasses or goggles on, essentially, with like a few magnifying glasses attached. What do you want? And she's holding like a wrench and like something else in her hand that just looks like junk that's been melded together. Like it doesn't look like. What? You gonna take more?
No, I see why they call you Goggles. My name is Madame Mask, and I'm gonna like put out a hand for you to kiss or shake or something, but mostly kiss.
I was like, hooks her wrench back in her belt and just takes like the junk, like tosses it behind her. Hear it crash somewhere. She's like puts up her goggles, and
I've heard some news that you've come into a bit of trouble. You've gotten some things stolen from you.
Yes.
repossessed, some might even say.
Yes, and I'd like to say that it's probably in the wrong place to be. So,
From what I see from you, that does not surprise me. It seems like it should belong with you. Um,
is there anything you can do about it, or are you here to rub it in my face?
oh no! I had a proposition for you. You see, I think I could use your expertise, and I think you could use mine to get your items back.
Like
I've
what?
I've heard you are a very renowned inventor, and you are very good at what you do, potentially even the best in this area. And I am in need of some assistance to pick up some. Uh, we'll say it's a shipment of some sort that I owe to somebody. And if you help me to get this, I will do the same for you. I will get you your stuff back if you help me to pick up this shipment.
Promise?
It is a Le Monde promise.
Her like whole demeanor shifts from this like, what do you want? Leave me alone. Don't take my stuff. To just like, okay. Tell me when. You know to find me, obviously, so.
Yes, of course. Also, I do, from the bottom of my heart, want to extend my condolences for the passing of your husband. I've recently lost mine as well, and it's difficult, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to you too.
Thank you. And again, I will be in touch. I look forward to working with you.
And are you? If it can get my equipment back.
Yes, of course.
Great. And then I can find the ones who killed my husband. So. Make that much faster.
There is a very good chance, perhaps these two things may overlap. Getting your equipment back and helping me, and finding the ones that killed your husband. So I think it is in your best interest to come along with me.
Oh, this is going to be great.
Yes. It has been a pleasure.
Bye. Slams the door shut. Sounds start back up.
Imagine just like a chainsaw getting started.
You just hear like all out of nowhere, just like a cat screaming, and then like a crash or something.
Oh my god.
Not like a cat got hurt, like it knocked something over. It's a huge fucking
Okay,
crash.
got it.
The classic cat
Yeah.
noise as he runs away from something.
Love it. Okay, so 1 or 2 down, just one more to go, just Valletta. So what's the approach look like? Oh, also, I will say, maybe this might help too. When me and Justin were talking about it, of this, necklace that went missing, it was kind of thrown around like maybe Matthias, put up the necklace to like help fund something for this score. So like, and you were a huge part of planning that score, so you might actually know what happened to that necklace.
Okay. Cool. So I guess I will once again just go right up knocking on the door.
Who is it?
You may call me Madame Mask, Madam, whatever you please.
You hear a thump like against the wall. What do you want?
I believe you are looking for a certain necklace?
You hear two more quick thumps against a wall, and the door unlatches. You open it and you notice that there are 3 throwing knives in the wall next to the door, and she's got another one in her hand that she's... What do you know about a necklace?
Well,
Come in.
very well.
Close the door and lock it behind you. And she grabs the other knives off the wall. Ushers to inside.
You see, your late husband was a
So your eyes go cold.
friend of my husband's.
So he's the one who got him killed. I see. Okay.
Well, The line of business that they work in, it is not kind on people.
No, I know, but we had done our part. We had done our job. We had done what we needed to do. Another throwing knife gets whizzed past your head.
This is very true. But I believe there is more that you are going to need to do. If you want your necklace back, that is.
Now you know where it is.
Well, I might, but that only depends on if you're willing to help me. I've heard you're in a lot of trouble.
Another quick throw on the other side. What do you know about it?
I know that your husband took it from you. I know that it is what was going to get you out of here. I know that without it, you are basically a dead woman walking.
What do you need?
I need you to come help me. We have to pick up another shipment. There is a shipment similar to the one that your husband died getting, and I need you to help me with it. In exchange, I will help you find your necklace.
You see, she takes a minute. She walks over to you and leans down and just pulls the knives out of the wall next to it, and she puts them back in her belt. And she'll back up.
If you do not wish to help, that is okay. I can take the necklace on my own. I've heard it is very, very expensive. But I will be going if you're not going to be any use for me. I'm gonna start getting up, walking towards the door.
And then right in front of her, a knife stops in her face as a piece of hair, comes off. Stop. I'll help.
That is what I thought. I will be in touch.
And Valetta will just watch her walk out the door as she angrily takes the knife out of the wall.
I love these characters. They're so badass. That was so cool. Oh, I love it. Okay. So, Defina, you have done quite a bit of research, in trying to procure spirit essence for your own purposes, getting your husband to go along with this heist that went wrong. The Dimmer sisters were the easy bit because they had the shipment coming in, it was on the road. There was potential to get in, grab it quick, get out with minimal damage. Your other target that you identified is a little more tricky. You know of Hal Orville, who is this aristocrat. He is one of the main manufacturers of the Leviathan hunting ships. So, he is rumored to be a part of a cult, the Path of Echoes. And you have someone in the house, a maid called Lucella Ankiat, she's a Skovlander herself, so she has ties to the Lamond family. And she has told you that, spirit essence does occasionally move in and out of the mansion. Now, the maid herself, she's not a thief. She's not willing to put her job on the line, but for the right price, she might be persuaded to help. So that there is, some kind of vault or security that is holding a large amount of spirit essence that either, Hal Orville he's either making it or he's getting it from somewhere. Very, very also invested in this spirit trade. So he is the target. I think we are approaching the time in the gaming session where it's time to do the heist itself. So we need to pick what kind of job this is and then the detail. So if you guys would like, before picking the detail, you can do gather information rolls. I do kind of have some info established that you could go out into the world and find. But we need some kind of fiction to how would you guys go about doing that? Or if you want to just jump in, we can just, find a way to get into the manor and steal the shit. So what are you guys feeling?
I would like to gather some information. And correct me if I'm wrong. This is me telling you what like stat I'm using to gather information, or like and how I'm doing it. Okay.
Yes.
I'm glad I remembered. I'm gonna use my study stat. And that's, I believe, for, if this is telling me the correct things, studying a person, document, or item with close scrutiny to gather information and apply knowledge. Okay. I would like to study this person I've never heard of before that we're trying to steal from. Because Goggles doesn't really care about this. So I would like to study that person and see if there's like anything they're like, this sounds really, but like scared of, like anything they're particularly scared of or worried about. Like, are they scared of ghosts? Are they like, not that people aren't scared of ghosts, but you know what I mean. Like, are they like, what are their worries? What are some psychological fuckingness I can do, if anything?
So, how are you studying Hal? Like, are you, because to get close to him in real life might be difficult considering he's an aristocrat and you're a commoner.
Yeah.
So unless you were doing some kind of surveillance, or, you know, it could be, you know, reading public documents about him, newspaper articles.
That's
kind of,
probably
like,
what I would
scouring
do.
everything.
I'd probably
Okay.
like go if there's a library equivalent, or like just some way of like I'm an artificer essentially. I'm an academic, so I'm
Mhm.
doing it the academic way. Let's read interviews and research papers and all that jazz. Family history.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and roll your study roll then.
So just to make sure, how many d6? I have one checkmark box. Is that one?
Yes,
Just
if you
making
have
sure.
one check mark in study, then that's one die.
Okay, we'll see what happens. 5.
All right, that is a pretty good success. So you find out that Hal is, you know, like we mentioned before, he's pretty wealthy because he's, you know, manufacturing all these Leviathan hunting ships, but he himself is not a part of the nobility. And that's something that he wants. You know, he wants that. It's very difficult to get a title, but he doesn't want to be regarded as just like this new money, like low class merchant. He and his wife are aspiring to elevate themselves socially. So one of the things that they do is they do a lot of social events, and you know that Unison is coming up, and Unison is the to some, it's a celebration of the war between Scotland and Akarosi ending. To others, like a lot of Scotland or refugees that are in the city, they're like cursing the end, you know, because Scotland didn't win. They didn't get their freedom. They're still, you know, within the bounds of Akarosi. So they're throwing a ball to celebrate Unison. And, you know, a lot of notable people are going to be at it. You know, Leviathan ship hunters, some of their crew, a couple nobles. So there's going to be a lot of people going in and out of the mansion on that night.
Okay. Good to know.
Is anybody else doing anything to gather information before you guys come up with your plan?
Do we know where this where the shipment is going to be? Or no?
You do
Sounds
not
like
know
we can try to
exactly
find
where
out.
in the house the spirit essence is.
Oh, well, do we know the house? We know, like, it's at his mansion or whatever.
I do not suspect any of you guys have been inside it.
No, but we know it's at. Well, okay. We suspect
Yeah, you
it.
know it
That's
is
what I'm
at
saying.
his
It's not
mansion.
it's not at
Yeah.
like a dock or something else. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Oh,
It is at his residence.
I
is
should.
there
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm talking.
is there a way I can try to gather evidence about the layout, or at least entrances of the by sneaking around sometime at night, just around to try to get a lay of the land, while scoping out the place essentially.
That's something Mara could do, is survey the surrounding areas.
Is there a way we can both do that? Or
I would imagine Madame put us in touch.
Okay, so your plan is to sleuth around the outside of the mansion on the grounds to try to. Are you trying to get a layout of the mansion?
The layout of the land
or-
and like entrances, exits, security,
Okay.
stuff like that.
What are the issues we're gonna run into when we try to get in here to try to at least find the thing? I know I might not find out where it's being stored, but at least we can
Okay.
find out like what our best entrance point might be or what our options are.
I don't think I can do anything again, but if anyone's good at study, I should have tried to see if I could find any like maps or like any kind of architect setup. I dropped the ball now, guys. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna say this gather information roll though is okay. Oh, also pause to explain to our audience.
Yes.
Normally when you do an action roll, how it goes is the player's gonna state a goal. I'm going to, they're also gonna choose an action rating. So we've been kind of describing them a little bit of like survey, tinker, prowl. These are the types of things that people do as scoundrels in this world. Then I usually set a position and effect for that roll. So it's a little different with gather information rolls typically, but I feel like if you're physically going to the place and like potentially putting yourself in the path of that security, that could be a risk.
Okay.
They might like be like, who the fuck's sleuthing around our mansion?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can go ahead and roll for that. I'm gonna say it
D6s.
is. If your goal is to figure out the security and the entrance and exits, I'd say that's standard effect.
Okay.
So risky standard.
Okay. I've got 3 in prowl, so I'm rolling 3.
Okay, perfect.
6.
Hey, okay,
Very
so
nice.
that is a just straight success. Yeah, there is the most heavily guarded doors are, is the main entrance. And then there's a lot of the other doors you notice are kept locked most of the time, but the ones that people are going in and out of the most frequently with kind of like the least security is where the servants come in, like the cooks, the cleaners, things like that. There is, security to make sure that they have the right paperwork. They do in fact, work there, but they're kind of usually just like brush past. There's a lot of different faces going in and out. So that would probably be the easiest entrance to get into. You notice that the mansion as a whole has about a dozen people on security. It's a pretty tight ship. There's a possibility that they might be hiring more contractors for like the ball, and maybe that's why there's so many people here. But yeah, they are working, alongside you can see, the head of the security having like a hushed conversation, or maybe not a hushed conversation, but like a conversation with like the head parlor maid who's in charge of all the servants. If you're particularly close in your prowl, you might even hear about, him demanding you need to get me the paperwork of these last caterers. Of I don't know what to do. They dropped out last minute. I need to hire new caterers. I don't have a choice. I'll get it to you when I get it to you, but good work is hard to find.
Immediately, Madam Mask, have you ever run a catering business before?
No, I have not. Why do you ask this?
Because I think it's the ball that we're supposed to be going to, is looking for some caterers, and I think we could find an entrance there, possibly.
I'm so bad at.
Don't have to, but I'm just saying it's an option.
This is very interesting. This is kind of a question for you, Julia.
Yeah.
Would it be like is Defina well known enough that it'd be weird for her to come up and be like, "Hi, I'm the caterer." Like, does this family know who I am?
Oh no. This
Okay.
this aristocratic family, they don't know who you are. They're not even in charge of like hiring people. But I mean you kind of have some connections already. Like you know one of the maids that work there. A lot of the people that work in this house are Scotlanders because you know they're a little bit discriminated against, you know, being refugees. They have more limited options. So domestic work is kind of pretty common. And you can find out from the maid like the catering itself is, you know, taken care of. They're hiring on extra people to they're hiring on extra people to help serve and everything. So you wouldn't necessarily need to like actually be responsible for cooking food or anything. They have their own kitchen staff. They're just, you know, they tried to hire on, you know, extra people and they dropped out, you know, last minute. So now they're trying to get people to fill those spots.
Fantastic. I think this would be a very good way in.
You can thank me later.
Oh, of course. Can I also try to get information out of the maid, either by to like see if she does have like can draw like a map to where the safe would be, using. I would like to sway her to do this.
Sway would work, yeah.
Okay. Then I'd like to try to sway her to kind of draw, maybe not even where the safe is, but like a general like layout of what the mansion looks like. And I can do.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
that's okay.
You can go ahead and roll. I'm gonna say that's controlled because she's, you know, your pal. So
You got a 3. you take the highest roll, yes.
yeah, you take the high.
Okay, yeah, then I got a 3.
She doesn't know. That's it. She's like, I work all day and, you know, clean the rooms. I'm not, you know, the lord and lady, or not, they're not lords and ladies. They keep a very tight ship, and I can't be, you know, going around this house looking for whatever it is you're searching for. I've already given you too much. I cannot be involved in this any further.
That is okay, my dear friend. Keep yourself safe. Thank you for what you've done.
All right. Is there anything else anybody's doing, or you guys feel like you're ready to jump in? Because I feel like you guys are pretty solid plan
I don't know
so
if we're
far.
ready, but like, I think we're gonna do it anyway.
I think
Somebody's
we're
gonna die by the end of the day.
Okay, so
Maybe.
the plan options are assault,
hell yeah.
deception, stealth, occult, social, and transport. So yeah, what do you guys feel like this falls under?
Deception.
Or stealth?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, as one, I don't do very well in social situations.
Neither do
People
I.
don't necessarily admire me carrying around a gun. So,
I am from Scotland, though. They might like me.
Okay, so for deception, the detail is the method of deception, and for stealth, the detail is the point of infiltration. So I don't know if that narrows it down for you guys.
No,
I
this
think
is
it
one of the
does.
same. Right.
I mean, I think if we're pretending to be servers, us getting into the door as servers is the point of infiltration. That is like the we need to get past
Perfect.
the people asking for our papers that we don't have.
All right, so I feel like, you know, we have our detail. I think we're ready to tally up the dice for our engagement roll. So I have some questions for you all to determine, you know, how many dice we get to roll going into it. For the people watching at home, an engagement roll is something we do at the beginning of a heist so that we can cut right to the action. So if we roll really well, it says like, awesome, you got in, you're in a nice controlled position, like you're in charge. Or it could be desperate, like it could be the guards being like, yeah, where's your catering papers? And then you got to figure out how to navigate it from there. But this is to, cut the BS, get right to the point. So our first question is this operation particularly bold or daring?
Yeah, I mean,
It's not bold or daring.
it's just a ball of all the important
normal.
people in the city.
Does the detail expose a vulnerability or hit them where they're weakest?
I mean, it's the least, like, one of the
Everyone
least
could
worse.
everyone
Yeah,
could
I
die
agree.
and the team would still be at 99% with me.
Okay.
I think it is one of their weaker entrances, or like in the mansion.
Another one is, can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation?
The maid.
Yeah, maybe the
Maid.
maid can vouch for us potentially as like, yeah, I've reached out to these people to help serve should we run into problems.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've only got a
fine.
corpse thief on my side. I don't really think.
Okay, so the target is not a lower tier, so you don't get a die for that. Is there any other advantage that we did not cover?
Advantage?
Advantage, yes.
We've got
They're
Madame
focused on the ball.
They're desperate for help.
I like where your head's at, but I do think because it's a ball, there's also more security too, because they're paying
Fair.
attention. So I won't give you that one. I'm gonna move on to disadvantages. And I mean, you guys are pretty good. Right now you have 4 die, so we'll see if that gets taken down with the disadvantages. But is this operation overly complex or contingent on many factors?
Not really.
Like middle ground on that.
'Cause
Yeah, I
it's-
don't think it's too bad.
It's really just
Um,
get in, sneak around, get out.
Fine.
Is the target strongest against this approach? Do they have particular defenses or special preparations? I don't think so.
Extra
Are
cards.
any enemies or rivals interfering on the operation? You don't have anyone right now trying to stop you. Is there an opposition of a higher tier? Yes, this target would be a higher tier than you guys. Is there another disadvantage that we did not talk about?
We have no idea what we're doing.
No,
No, you're scoundrels in Dustfall. You can do anything.
it's breaking and entering. We know what that is.
Yeah, you've been planning this
We've
for
all been there.
weeks. Your characters have it covered. You just as players, we're gonna find out what happened.
I have a grenade.
Okay, so that gives us 3 die for our engagement roll, which is pretty good. So I think maybe take a break here, do what we need to do, and then we'll come back, make the roll, and start the heist.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
All
Let's
right.
steal some shit.
Hell yeah.
Oh fuck.
Welcome back to The Widows. We are just about ready to start our heist, but before we get going, our players all need to determine their load. So one of the really cool things that I love about the Blaze in the Dark system is that, you know, your characters do all the nitty-gritty planning ahead of time, but you as a player don't necessarily need to do that. All we need to do is pick the amount of gear that we have on us. So that could be a light load, which, like, yeah, you're an inconspicuous person through the crowd. A moderate, which is, you know, you're an everyday scoundrel. You look like you're going for trouble. And then heavy load, which is you look like you're going to war. So we don't need to determine which gear everyone has. They all have like a big list of options. As we go through the score, they're gonna check off those gears that will, you know, like contribute to their load. We just need to determine, you know, as players, are you light, moderate, or heavy? Oh, and I will remind you guys of your crew upgrades. So like we mentioned before, one of your perks is that you all have 2 free load. So it doesn't count against you. You also, if you guys did not already, you have the Everyone Steals perk. So each PC gets +1 to either Prowl, Finesse, or Tinker. If you haven't already adjusted your stats, please do that. You have a Hidden Layer, and you have underground maps and passkeys.
I forgot we had so much.
Yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah, I should have said that earlier before
That's
you guys
alright.
did all the planning for your heist. But you know, you did a great job. It was going so well.
So that means a normal load is up to 5 things, right?
Plus an extra.
And then
2
we get
for
an
the-
extra 2 on top of that.
Yeah, but I
Okay.
will say, you know, you guys are trying to go in as caterers or
Yeah.
servers or whatever. If you look like a scoundrel, that could cause trouble for you.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
light.
Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I think light for me as well.
I'm
Light from Mara as well.
I'm medium, but most of my stuff is in like a belt. It's like kind of just a pouchy belt.
Is there a way we can like use like a caterer's table to put Mara's shit in it as we push it through the door?
I
been
put it
thinking
in my
about
hat
this.
like
I
Remy.
mean, we're already putting the sniper rifle in there. I don't go anywhere without that.
I put my bandolier in my hat, so it's like a little Remy the Rat situation. But it's the bomb.
All right, yeah, I'll take a regular load. I'm gonna say you look a little bulky. You know, like it's not immediately apparent, but there's a potential if there's a complication, it might come up.
It's like stuffing snacks in your jacket going to the movies.
Yeah.
Movie theaters.
Honestly, yeah.
All right, so you guys have 3 dice for your engagement roll. Who would like to be
Aubrey.
the person?
Aubrey, because somehow she rolls all 6s.
She's
every
got
time.
she's great at d6s and it's her shit. So
I will admit, D6s are the only things I roll like kind of decently. My D20 rolls are always garbage. Oh yeah, look at that. I did get 2 6s and a 4.
2 6s. All right, that is a critical success.
Oops.
That is, you're already overcome the first obstacle and you're in controlled position for what's next. So I'm gonna
Let's
say,
go.
yeah, you guys, well, to give us a little bit of cinematics, you know, the manor house is up on this like almost like cliff top over like the River Dusk. It's like got all this like jutting slate and like water running through it. Some of it's like moss covered, which is kind of unusual because, you know, in Duskfall, there's no sunlight. So plants, very, very difficult to grow. But this has some nice moss and, you know, slate. And up on this cliff top is a beautiful mansion with like wrought iron. It's got stained glass, but at the same time, very clearly like recently built, new money. So some of the people kind of going into this this building kind of like have their nose upturned a little bit. You know, some of the old money are not entirely impressed. But you guys are sneaking through the servants' doors. You have, the paperwork that you procured. You all kind of officially got hired on through the help of, Lucelle. You get the pass through all the guards. They don't pay you any mind. You're sent out into the house with your serving trays, hors d'oeuvres on top, or maybe like glasses of champagne, and guests are picking off your trays. You're walking around able to survey pretty much the entire mansion that's available to the guests. So some of the main rooms that you might be walking through is like a very large circular ballroom. Like the stained glass accents that you saw from the outside are in the ceiling here. It's filled with guests with dance cards around their wrists. There's a small orchestra, very loud, and you and the servants are just like passing through, seen but also invisible. There's also a more quiet art gallery of the Orville's personal collection. The servant corridors that you're passing through, that the guests are unseen. Although you do note, that head parlor maid that hired you last minute, she's got sharp eyes. She doesn't suspect anything right now. You guys still got your critical, but you notice she's a quick one. She's going to be hard to pull something past. There's also a radiant garden courtyard. So we talked about before, plants very difficult to grow without sun. But some really clever scientists figured out if you use electroplasmic energy and you genetically modify some plants, or some people have been able to do with like animals like fish or birds, you can give that organism this energetic glow, and that can help to grow plants around it. So you see these like glowing exotic trees that are providing light in this courtyard for like blooming orchids. There's all these succulents. There's like a nice garden for actually like growing and eating food. It's like several stories up in the middle of this mansion, and it's roofed with like a skylight that you can see the constellations through. Gorgeous. And then outside there's like a little statuary garden overlooking the slate cliffs and the Dusk River that some of the guests are mingling at. And you also notice some servants going in and out of the wine cellar. And you're also going in and out of the kitchens as well. So there's a lot. This entire mansion is kind of open to you to travel around, seen but unseen. What are you guys doing to discover the location of the spirit essence?
I think I am going to try to like sneak away into more personal quarters, like less the wine cellar, kitchen, cleaning area, and more like almost try and start to like almost be a housemaid almost, if like anyone's looking at me like trying to pat down, dust things off, to almost be like, let's try and get to an office or something like that. I'm not a good sneaker though, so if anyone else wants to sneak, that might be a better idea.
Isn't there a way to like assist, to help somebody else?
To take stress on yourself to help.
Actually, can I take all that back?
Yeah, you absolutely can take all
Great.
that back.
I'd like to take all that back. I would like to also kind of sneak, but to behind. So I have a bandolier, and I'm allowed to have 3 items, right, or multiple items in the bandolier. I'm deciding that one of those items is Skullfire, which is a poison. And I would like to find the hawk-eyed lady, and I want to try and kind of sneak behind her, because what it is it's toxic fumes from overheated Leviathan blood. So, and it causes incapacitating migraines. So, I would like to try and open a bottle or something, or like heat something up near this woman to try and get them to inhale these fumes and be incapacitated.
That is epic. Okay, I love this. What action rating are you using for this roll?
What do you mean by that? Just so.
So
I
are
don't-
you prowling behind
Oh.
her? Are you consorting with her and chatting with her in this area? Yeah, yeah.
I'm not good at anything. Wait, what could we add 1 to before? Because I didn't add 1 to anything before.
Your
Think-
options were prowl, tinker, or finesse.
Okay, I already have enough in Tinker, so I'll do Prowl. Sorry, I should have done that, but I needed... If I'm gonna be
It's
a
all good,
heist
it's all
person,
good.
I need to prowl a little bit. I'll use Prowl, since I now have 1 in Prowl.
Okay, before you roll, I do want to, remind you of some options you
yeah.
can do to get more dice if you'd like. So the first one is to push yourself. You take 2 stress to get yourself an extra die. You can also, oh, sorry, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. I'm supposed to tell you your position and effect.
Yeah.
So your position is controlled because you guys rolled that critical on your engagement. So no one suspects a thing. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say it's standard effect because I think there's also room, like other people might be around, she might get called away. So I'd say it's probably gonna work the regular amount. But yeah, so back to the ways to get more dice.
Sorry.
You
I was
go
gonna
ahead,
ask
Justin.
what are the different effects? Could remind me what the different effects are. They're standard.
Yeah, so
there's
the first
40.
one is limited. So you might achieve part of your goal, but not necessarily the whole thing. Standard is you're going to achieve the goal that you told me you want to. And great is you're going to achieve your goal really well.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so we mentioned pushing yourself. There's also assist. So another player says in the fiction how they help you, and they take 1 stress, you get to add a die. There's also a devil's bargain. So basically, I give you some kind of complication to the situation, but you get an advantage. You get an extra dice. And yeah, that is all the ways to get extra dice. So you're more than welcome to just roll your 1, or if you'd like, you can close out.
Anyone want to distract her?
Would I maybe, so I have trance powder, would I maybe be able to like slip that into the drink before that happens to help? So because it causes people, they're fully conscious, but they're kind of like in a trance-like state, and they can be more easily like affected by manipulation. So could I do that to help, or would that be?
So you guys are hitting her with both drugs? Is that the...
Mine's technically a poison, so I'll have you know.
Totally different
You can
things.
definitely do it. I'm not gonna stand in your way. Yeah,
Okay.
that it might have an interesting and unforeseen effect to have her both poisoned and under the influence of trance powder. But we'll see what
Horrific
happens.
migraines and also tripping balls.
I'm down to do it if you are.
Oh boy.
Oh, I have no morals.
Oh, good. Let's do it then. So I'll
Um,
I'll like slip it in a champagne glass and hand it to her as a way to help Goggles.
Perfect. Okay, so Madame, you're gonna take 1 stress for that assist, and Goggles, you get to take 2 dice for this roll.
Thank
It's
you, Madame.
controlled standard.
So just for some flavoring, before we know if I succeed or not, Goggles essentially like looks around. I guess we're all like kind of looking at each other from different points of the room. I guess, like, I don't know if we'd be huddled. That looks a little weird. But so I like am going to pass Madame probably and be like, I have an idea. And just kind of like pull out a little like vial I have and like shake it. And go to find this hawk-eyed woman. And I'm like kind of giggling to myself a little bit. And I uncork it away and try to like essentially walk by this woman holding it a little away from me, like I'm bringing someone a champagne glass essentially, or a shot or something like that. Come on, baby. I got a 6 and a 2.
Hey,
course.
all right.
The 6 was
So-
on the one I added, Shannon, so thank you.
That's a regular success. Do you want to tell me what happens to this head parlor maid as you pass?
So as I pass, like, I walk by and I probably, like, just to be a little, make sure this bitch smells it, I know to not breathe through my nose. So, I probably, like, trip a bit and spill it, like, on her shirt, like, as close to the face as I can. And it's hot, too. It's hot. And she probably burns at first, like, oh, what the hell? And then she smells it, and it's one of those where it's like, if you've ever gotten hit with a migraine before out of nowhere, like, it's just all of a sudden she smells it, and it's just stabbing right between, like, the temple here, to the point where it's like that migraine where you can almost, like, not even open your eyes anymore because you're just like, pain. Very, very hard pain. And I'll be like,
Yes,
oh, I'm
yes,
so
I
sorry.
love-
I'm so sorry. Oh, clean that up right away.
Go out.
Yes, of course.
Go.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
And I'm like gonna like run off.
And she's gonna turn to like the head of the kitchen, you know, just like this overworked Scotland or lady that's just, you know, like running around like her head's cut off. Like obviously she's competent, knows what she's doing, but she has so much on her plate, and she just, Rosalind, make sure the hors d'oeuvres get out there on time. I need a moment. I'll be in my office. And she's gonna go back to her tiny little, you know, office room with a little desk that's down in where the servants' quarters are. Yeah, so you guys have taken out, I guess, one of your main oppositions. You're still in a controlled position in this mansion, you know, walking around with your servant platters. What's next?
I'm gonna walk past Void and just kind of like floof my hair out of the way while holding a tray, going like, it should be pretty safe to go check upstairs now if you'd like. You're better at sneaking than I am. And like just kind of go around talking Scotland with like other Scotlanders I see. I'm like, hi.
George gives a little nod as she takes this moment to, you know, do the whole like as you're like leaving the ballroom area, you know, turning around, placing the platter, taking off whatever like thing, and like working our way up towards like the places that we were like allowed to go in. I know we had a lot of places we could go, but like, what's up? What are these in these rooms that we are off limits? You know.
You
Yeah.
probably get up there, and around the corner, you already see Mara there with like probably like whatever bow tie or whatever they had to wear, like stripped off. She looks really, really uncomfortable. I'm just trying to get away from people.
Come on. And we'll start to look for any, you know, maybe a study or some other room in the thing that might be either, because we're looking for. Are we aware if the amount of spirit essence is like big enough to be in like a vault type, or like a more like a safe, like smaller safe thing, or is it going to be in like
It
one?
would be more like a vault.
Okay. So yeah, just looking for like a room that maybe is like has a little bit more security and or has like some way to some like, I don't know, idea that that's where it would be. So searching around the off limits place. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. What action are you gonna do?
Prowl. I'd like to
All right,
prowl to
prowl.
like sneak around and find my way
Yeah.
through.
I mean, from your engagement roll, you guys had controlled. So I'm gonna say, yeah, this is controlled. You guys are passing around. Nobody suspects you. And I'm gonna say this is standard effect.
All right. So 3 dice.
Does he get an extra one because I'm there as well?
If you'd like to assist and pay a stress, he can get.
I already rolled a 6. Just saying, I rolled my 3 dice as you were saying that. So 6, 5, and 3.
Oh, damn.
I don't want you to take the extra stress if it's not necessarily needed.
You make your way into the study of Hal. You recognize it from, you know, like the family portraiture on the wall. There's like, the walls are also lined with, you know, like shelves of books. There's a mantelpiece with a harpoon gun over it. In fact, you guys have noticed there's like a ton of nautical themed stuff around this entire mansion. Despite him not actually being a sailor himself, you know, like there's like pieces of like, you know, like this was the boat that was destroyed by the great, you know, Leviathan that they called this. And
He's a poser.
Make it till you make
a
it.
little bit, yeah. So anyway, you survey this desk that he has out, and most of it's kind of like boring, like, oh, accounts payable to ship part stuff. But you see a note that references his membership in the Path of Echoes, which you know is all about the arcane and spirits. And there's also a reference to the basement. So, whatever they have going on, it's not up here upstairs. It's got to be downstairs. And because you rolled a 6, the only stairs you noticed that went down were in the wine cellar.
All right. Okay. Void kind of holds up the note and like kind of waves it in front of her face. Seems like we gotta go down. Down in the wine cellar here.
Well, I guess we should go tell the others.
Should probably get those bow ties back on, you know? She'll like wink at Echo and
Yeah, Echo just rolls her eyes like.
head back to like grab the shit that we tossed in like a closet, like somewhere. I throw.
Yeah, as
Echo.
you're headed back down, you have your costumes back together, your platters held. You pass by and you hear familiar voice. Charles, I must say you look so dashing. And I joke, she doesn't see you, but you recognize that voice to be of Lady Rosalind Kellis. She's here at this party too.
Shit. Like Void almost trips like as soon as she hears that and realizes who it was, and like grabs onto Echo. It's like, we gotta move. Like and kind of will like walk like in like the space of like next to Echo, like so like that she's blocking her from like that corner.
Yeah, Mara's kind of built, or Echo's kind of built like a door, so I think it kind of works.
And if there's a way we can pass by Madame, tell her basement. Also, Kellis is here.
Is it
And
basement?
you know that that's the person who's saying me.
Stay out of view of her. I will pass the word on to Goggles. We'll meet in the basement. We need more wine for the party anyways, I say a little bit louder.
And like I'll like pass off the rest of the champagne and like head off down with Echo to the basement, or towards the wine cellar at least.
Yeah, Echo's already down there smoking a cigarette.
Just teleported down.
Not
It's
that-
really
it-
dry, cask-heavy place. You just like light a fire by
Like,
accident.
you see her just beeline for the door, and like people are like, "Oh, can I have a champ?" Oh, wait.
As you descend the stairs down into the wine cellar, it's very obvious that you are not alone in there. There are some guests having a rather good time. A man and a woman, pressed against one of like the cast, making out, getting like a hand is traveling up a thigh, kind of getting busy.
Him. Looking
Are
at the
you looking
couple.
for a third?
The gentleman looks around.
Or can
and
we help you in any other way?
He's got the very well tailored suit, very expensive. He's definitely one of I don't want to say one of the more important guests, but he's snooty. He has his nose in his hair, and he's not necessarily just gonna let some servants tell him that he's not allowed to be somewhere. So
I didn't
he's
say
like,
that.
oh yeah, exactly. So he okay, I'm gonna say without a rule, he's gonna kind of like brush you guys off and go back to making out. He's kind of intoxicated. But if you guys have a technique to distract him, move him, do whatever you want, we can make that into a roll.
We just offer him one of
I
the
mean, I
rooms
could always
upstairs.
slit his throat. Oh, did you guys have a different idea? Sorry.
Oh, always an option. I'm just saying, like, my first thought is, I mean, a random castle. You want one of the rooms upstairs? Like, you can get a comfortable spot for you, buddy. Like,
We're all down here, right?
we're here to help. I'm not saying this out loud.
Other than all 4 of us and the 2 lovebirds, who else is down
Orgy.
here?
It's
No.
just it's just these 2 in the cellar. And yeah, this man is gonna try to get you guys like out. Like, I'm busy here, command you to go away, kind of thing.
Well, it's just gonna pretend like that they're not there at the moment, and like try to go to a different place and like refill, act like she's refilling whatever tray or like getting wine out, but like she's actually looking for, any other entrance down here, or maybe like some sort of like secret switch or anything. I don't know if there's another door or staircase down here. Not sure if there's anything else on the walls.
Yeah, what action do you want to use to accomplish this?
Maybe survey.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'm gonna say this is risky with the guy and the girl like right here. But your effect is gonna be
Okay,
What are you using for that?
survey.
Can I help? I would like to help him.
Yes, please.
By positioning myself like kind of just in their point of view, like just wherever this guy is looking, I am gonna try and be like, I might have to roll for this, which I guess I will, but just essentially being like, how can I help you? Can I get you, like, I can help you get a room, like, could I help you upstairs? Like, I can get you a room. It'd be much more comfortable for you.
Yeah, Marika
Like-
wants to know what the response to that's gonna
But
be.
just like in their way, like trying to get their attention on me.
Yeah, I'm definitely to go ahead and take a stress for that assist, and Justin, you get to roll another die. I'm gonna wait to say his response until after we find
Okay.
out the result of this roll.
I just have one more question. So one of my special abilities, it says I'm not affected by quality or tier when you bypass security measures. I don't know if this is that, but like I don't know what that means either. Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't.
Okay.
I know what it means. We're all good.
6 and a 4.
Oh,
Hey,
I'm rolling
you
great.
guys are rolling really well.
Yeah. So that did help though, because I don't think I would have done. I had 1 before. I appreciate the assist.
The man is completely taken up. His attention is taken up by Mira. He's like, no, really, can't you just grab what you need to and get out of here? We're trying to have a. I know we don't need to move.
I'm
We're
sorry,
fine right here.
I'm just recently from Scotland. I don't speak. What? Sorry?
Well, maybe you should learn it
Sorry?
before you get a job like this. And so he's being super rude to you. While that's going on, Void, you notice that there is a little latch by one of the shelves that hold some of the beer. And then you also see that there's like kind of like a rail or like sliders at the bottom to where like this latch could be lifted and then this shelf could move to potentially reveal something. But the man is
He's still
sitting here
there.
arguing. He's not
Still there.
gone yet, so that's still an obstacle for y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. So Void is just gonna keep like pretending to like gather shit, but like signal to either Madame or Echo. Like he's got to get out of here.
Doing my best.
So,
I know you're
uh,
distracting him now.
just
I'm
kinda-
saying they gotta figure something out with it.
Mara is just kind of fed up with this. She's like, "Ugh, can we just get a move on? With Goggles kind of standing in between, like next to them, the couple. Mara's just gonna, or Echo's just gonna slip a wine bottle and just whack right on the back of the guy's head to knock him out.
All right, here we go.
And we're gonna use skirmish for this.
I think
Sneaky.
I mean, it's a poppin' party
Yeah.
upstairs.
yeah, no. I'm trying to think about the position. I think this is regular risky
Yeah.
because he's not expecting it and he's distracted. I think you're gonna have standard effect in knocking him out. But you also, there's the woman next to him as well. So
There's
like
a
I
lot of
think,
wine bottles here.
yeah, no, I'm just letting you know that yeah, those are the potential complications. You can go ahead and do this risky standard effect.
I am also taking 2 stress to give me that extra dice. 4 dice in total. Let's
All right,
go.
go on. That is a lot of dice.
Hey, we're 6 right there. And I only have 3 dice, so I might as well roll the 4th
Oh,
one. Okay, so I did get a 6. I got 1 6.
All right. Yeah, the wine bottle shatters against his head. Like his really fine suit gets just like drenched in red wine, just stained completely. He falls to the ground unconscious. The woman is. Okay, so what are you guys gonna do about her?
Can I say, assuming I'm still wearing like some sort of scarf or flowy thing because it's in my thing, can I take the scarf and like wrap it around her head and like pull her back so she's up against me and can't scream?
Wow.
Yes.
And I'll use finesse if I can.
Yeah, I think we could call that finesse.
Cool, great.
Whoa.
It seems like a pretty quick, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that fits. Are you trying to incapacitate her? Just make her quiet?
I'm not trying to like choke her or anything. I think
Okay,
I'm just
okay.
trying to like silence her for now and like grapple her kind of. So like keep her from moving and keep her quiet.
Okay.
You should just.
I have more poison.
Oh, there's more. There is
Well,
the
I have
poison
to
route.
take care of it for the moment. I can do this, and then we can figure out what to do with her when we're doing more stuff later.
Say, I got some.
Yeah.
It's called Stand Still. Some pretty good stuff.
I'm gonna also say that this is risky.
Okay, cool. Oh God, I got a 3.
Oof.
Someone's got to roll bad.
Hey, that's okay. It's more fun that way.
Okay, yeah. Let me just make sure I'm doing this right, because I feel better when I look at charts.
My idea.
Yeah.
Try and convince
Okay.
them.
For a risky roll, she is not held by this scarf. She slips out of your reach and runs up the stairs, screaming. They attacked us! They just attacked you!
Void is opening the thing. I really hope it's back here.
Go.
I really hope that this is where it is. Gonna latch it, slide it over, because shit's hit the fan.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a clock
Oh,
for
yeah.
Uh-oh, not
the
a clock.
security's awareness of you guys at this party. Where's my notebook? I'm gonna say that I'm gonna make it a 6 o'clock because I do think you guys are owed that much opportunity. But I mean, this is really bad. Like her, running up the stairs and making like she's drunk, but like that's still pretty bad. So I'm gonna say this feels 3 ticks on the clock.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at the stuff I have. I'm trying to be helpful.
You gotta go. You gotta get out of
All
here.
right, what's next?
I have opened the latch.
Yeah, you flip the latch, the shelf slides over, and there's like another, like dark set of stone stairs that lead a bit further down, a corridor, and then you are met with dim electroplasmic lighting over what looks like an alchemy lab. There is all of these different like chemicals, vials, research notes splayed across the table. And then on the far side, you see a crackling lightning wall. And on the other side of that, you can see vials of speed.
I'm gonna bring him in here. We'll close it up behind us.
Mar just tosses him over the shoulder.
I'm gonna try to clean up the wine bottle that's been broken too, so it looks like nothing's happened.
Yeah.
I imagine there's like a bucket of like water. We just splash it to
Where'd
wash
the bucket
everything
of
away.
water come from?
I don't know. We're in a cellar. They got water to mop the floors.
See, I'm over here like, well, maybe one of us should pretend we just dropped a bottle of wine, but also I'm over here like, I want to get in there. I want to be in there. Does it look, is there any other way to get out of this area? Is it like a one entrance, one exit only?
It is one entrance, one exit.
Okay. Does it
That
look,
we know of.
does the wall, like it opens up to, does it immediately lock when it gets closed?
There's a latch on both sides.
So we
Okay.
could
So
open
you can open it from
What's it?
inside as well.
Okay, then I say we clean up as fast as we can and just
Yeah.
zoot on in there.
Boyd's waiting at the door to close it as soon as everybody's in there, and then like they're cleaned up.
I ran in.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll
I
clean
got a
up the
body
mess
with
and
me.
run in.
Goggles gets in there, and like when she sees like the lab, her eyes are just like, like she's just so excited. I would like to survey the table. I want to know what's in there, if I can, if I may do that
Yeah, go ahead.
or study.
Yeah, so in the fiction, are you just looking at it? Are you touching anything?
I would look at it first. Like I think I think Goggles knows enough to be like, I should probably look at this table before I set anything off, because if someone just randomly touched my table, they'd probably set something off. And I'm trying not to do that right now. So probably just like overlooking the table, seeing what's there. I guess also kind of in like a, if anyone comes in, what is immediately in front of us, I can say, grab that. And, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say you're in a controlled position. Your effect is, I'm gonna say great, because you work in a lab. You're familiar with these kind of substances. I will say though that I am putting you guys on a time. People are gonna come to investigate, so you have a limited amount of time to do what you need to do.
Okay. Then if I can, again, it's up to you, add to that, like, if anything on the table can help me get past that electric wall. Or, like, the electro.
Okay, that's what you're
wall.
looking for.
Yeah, let's just say, like, I'm like, oh, look for anything, but that's primarily what I'm going for. Is there a key, something here that'll unlock it?
All right, yeah. I'm gonna say, like I said, risky great. You can go ahead and roll your study.
I'm gonna push myself.
Or sorry, I said controlled great.
Okay. I'm gonna push myself, so add 2 stress to add a die, because I only have 1 study. Let's go! Don't fail me now! Woohoo! 6 and a 3.
All right. Trying to think of what you could find on this table that would help you. Yeah, next to some notes is like a part of a code. You can read the first 2 digits very clearly, but the rest is like kind of scribbled out. And if you look at the, the lightning barrier wall, like the like kind of door that they have, there's like a keypad.
Okay.
So you have part of the code that would need.
Madame! I'm gonna like hold it up and just like wave it around a bit. Be like, I found these!
This is very good. What is the rest of the code?
Beats me.
Could I like look at the keypad to see if there are any more worn down numbers than any of the other ones? And I guess I'm not good at anything that does anything like that, but I guess study.
Can I help her study?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. So you
Take
can
a
take an
stress.
extra die, and Aubrey's gonna take a stress to help you. Yeah.
So if I don't have anything in study and I get an extra die, is it still the lowest roll?
So when you have 0 die, you roll 2 and take the lowest. Aubrey
Okay.
is helping you,
Okay,
so you
so I
get
just have the
1
one.
die. So you just
Great.
roll that 1.
Yeah. I got another 3. This is every single time I have rolled a 3.
Oh no, not the 3s.
And I've rolled so many different dice. Well, 3.
You look at the keys and you're like, oh yeah, I know what this is. Like, this looks right. You enter in the code, alarms blaring. Rah, rah, rah. They are alerted to your presence and are coming. I will say though, so one of the things about blades that's really cool, you're allowed to resist a consequence that you do not want to happen. So you can get rid of that consequence or you can lessen it, depending on the circumstance. So how that works is that there is, each of your actions you can see are like within groupings. There's like resolve, the other ones that I can't remember off the top of my head.
Insight, prowess.
Yes, exactly. So we decide what we think applies to the situation. You have a rating for, those groupings, like resolve, whatever it is. You're going to roll that amount of die. You take 6 stress minus your highest die result. So it could be 0 if you roll 6.
Or another 3. It could be 3.
Or it could be 3.
Or you can take a lot of stress.
I'd like to do that.
I'd
That would be good to do.
like to correct this.
Yes.
Okay, so what do we think? I'm thinking kind of like insight, like the ability to kind of discern this code, notice that there's a security measure, be a little more careful.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many do you have in insight?
Big fat 0. That's okay. Maybe I'm just gonna be really stressed after this. So do I do 2 then and then take the lower dice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2. So I've got 4 stress from this.
Okay. The alarm does not go off. You do not trigger anything. However, you're still not through that door yet. So, I think, sorry, words are hard right now. What other approaches might you guys try to get through?
I'm like looking at all of my gadgets.
Can we survey the rest of this room?
I was gonna say, what do we know about electric fences? Like, or like the lightning grid fence? Like, what happens if you touch it? Like, what?
Yeah, so if you touch it, you're gonna get electrocuted.
Okay.
But you also know, like, what's interesting about this is, lightning barriers, that's what shrouds the entire city of Dustfall.
Yeah.
Like, that's to keep ghosts out. So it's interesting that they, use this particular security message. They picked something that a ghost couldn't travel through, as well as a person, because you'll get electrocuted. So, you see the keypad on the side, like that could potentially be tinkered with.
What if we just blew it up with some dynamite?
I will say it's not like I haven't had the thought, but we might want to try something else first. I've been told that bombs should not be plan A.
Probably make a decision quickly, though. I don't think we have much time.
I would like to tinker. if I can. I have tinkering tools. I have fine tinkering tools. So
I think it's reasonable to say that you have some experience with electronics. You can try, bypassing the security or, tricking it into thinking that you got the right code. So, do you want anyone to help you? Do you want a devil's bargain? Push yourself?
I have 2 in tinker. So I'm not gonna push myself. Like, I've already taken a decent amount of stress actually, so I'm not gonna push myself. So I'll just use my 2 in Tinker and hope for the best. Let's see, what am I trying to do here? I think by tinkering it, I'm not so much trying to figure out the code. I'm more like taking the cover of the panel off and trying to turn off the thing physically, like manually in the wiring system. I just plug it in.
I mean,
Yeah,
a bomb could unplug it too.
I think,
If that's
I
allowed.
think this is risky standard, yeah.
Tell me no whenever you want, GM.
Oh, no, that's not how this game works. You can do anything you want. I just tell you how effective it's gonna be.
Let's see. Oh, okay, that's a 4. Got a 4. It's my highest one.
All right, so that's a mixed result. So basically, you succeed. You're able to disable this lightning barrier, but there is a complication.
Hurt me more. Give me more translucent skin. Do it.
I could, but that wouldn't be as much fun for me. So I'm gonna say the crackling lightning wall silences. You know, you open it up, and now that it's quiet, it almost feels like static in the air. You know, and you can hear this like faint singing of like, the boy I love is up in the carrying on. And Madam, you've been around enough spirit stuff to know that, you know, you can't see it yet, but there's a ghost starting to materialize.
Ghosts are attracted to bodies, right? 'Cause
Yeah, wait.
I have,
Oh, he's not dead.
Well, he's not dead, actually. I take that back.
I was also like, isn't he turning?
No, I do slump him over on the side of the wall. I'm like, ew.
I have the special ability called Ghost Voice, which allows me to interact with a ghost or demon as if it was a normal human. So I'm gonna
right.
just kind of call out and be like, "Excuse me, is this your home? Do you live here?"
I think at first you just hear like the continuation of the song of like happy as a robin sitting on a tree. And it's like a really melancholy voice. And as you speak to her, she does start to materialize in front of you. And I'm gonna say because you're using ghost. So okay. So normally how ghosts work, when you're in the presence of a ghost, you either freeze or flee, because they are so terrifying. I think this is a little more controlled of an environment right now. I think, Madame, because you're purposely trying to reach her and speak to her via your ghost voice, I don't think you have to face those effects, at least right now. But the rest of your compatriots, you will either have to choose flee, freeze, or to resist that effect. So like just how Shannon resisted the consequence of the alarm going off, you would have to resist that if you wanted to do something while she's still around. But meanwhile, the woman, she has like this curly blonde hair, pale skin, like melancholy voice, and like really sad eyes. No. I mean, I dreamed one day that this might become my home. But no. It's his.
Hal's home? This is Hal's home.
Yes.
Do you know of him?
Oh, yes, I mean... Yes, we knew each other very, very well. A little too well for his wife's liking.
Oh,
Ghost in your
shit.
basement.
Ghost in your basement.
Some spicy conversations.
What do we need to roll if we're like resisting this? What would like resolve? I assume.
Yes. To resist ghosts is resolve.
I have a question about the freezing resisting.
Yeah.
So, is that effect you decide like for as long as the ghost is there?
It kind of depends on the situation, but it's not indefinite. No. Like after I'd say probably like a minute or something of this, you could like regain control of yourself.
Okay. I want to resist. I was just
Okay.
So, I'm so sorry. What do we roll when we resolve? Thank you.
So like however many things you have in resolve. I got none, so I'm at disadvantage.
Let's find out.
There is a 6 there, but the other one's a 2. So
I only take 2 stress. I got a 4.
All right.
yikes.
Oof.
That hurts.
Yeah, as this woman mentions Hal's wife, you can tell the static in the air becomes a little more fierce. You know, like it crackles a little more. Her melancholy eyes darken into anger. Ghosts are unstable. They're vengeful. You've just opened the door to let her free. So, yeah, I'm gonna let you guys talk.
I'm gonna like turn to my pals. She is not super happy with our good friend Hal, and perhaps if we have a way to work with her, she could help us get out of here. I
We're
think
just
a
like
ghost is a big
wall.
distraction.
Trying to get around her to the spirit stuff, but like is like not having any of it. She's like, fuck this. Nope, I'm gonna go deal with the shit we need to do.
If I'd like to add, just put in my little 2 cents. I've done some work with some ghosts and electroplasmids and stuff like that. She like kind of goes like this and like just shows Skeletal's fingers a little bit. I would like to point out in all of my studies that ghosts don't very much like to work with everyone. They want to do what they want to do. So I don't know how much working together is going to be very useful. I'm willing to find out. It'd be great research for me. But if we want to get out of here alive, which I figure we all do, we might want to try something like this. And I'm gonna like pull out like a cylindrical looking thing from my gadget pocket, because it's different than my bandolier. And it's called Ghost Scourge. Apparently, it is a plasmically charged chain connected to a spirit bottle to entangle a spirit and draw it into the bottle.
Ghostbuster.
I think this is how I use my gadgets. Julia, please, for the love
Yeah,
of
you're
like.
doing great.
Okay.
You're doing great.
I don't play artificers and stuff like that very often. I don't know.
As you guys are speaking, the woman is... I mean, she doesn't really walk. She more floats, through that open door up, and she's headed towards the stairs to get out of this basement.
Yes, I would do this thing very quickly, please.
Okay. I'm gonna like toss it, or I don't know if it's a tossable thing. In my head, it's like a cylindrical spirit bottle, but it's like a homemade one, if that's possible. So it's just like welded together, metal and stuff. And I toss it on the ground, and it kind of like a thing opens and a chain comes out, and it's like searching for the ghost. That's what I assume it does.
Yeah. So what action are you using to capture this woman?
I'd like to say tinker, because it's almost, I haven't used this before. I kind of made this before this mission, so it's kind of like I tinkered around. I was like, hey, that's an idea. I could try and just capture a ghost. So
Yeah, I think this is desperate. I mean, ghosts are terrifying, strange, and she's on a warpath to find, you know, this man's wife or him. So getting in her way could create a lot of issues. But I'm gonna say it's great effect because you have this tool with you.
as I'm like running over the bill, I mean, worst comes to worst, what? She takes out Alpharus, and also I get the ghost friend. It works out both ways. And so I'm going to toss it and I guess roll tinker, which I have 2 in. I really can't afford to stress myself. Like, I only have 3 left, so I have to just roll the 2. Ooh, okay, I got a 5. I got a 5 was my highest one. Not the time to not be rolling 6s. not the time.
Okay, so on a desperate roll with a mixed success, we either need severe harm or a serious complication. I'm gonna say she fights you on this. You know, try to use this device, and she can kind of see like premeditated what you're about to do, and she's like, don't you dare stand in my way, and she's like gonna like go out and like kind of like claw you with her ghost. I'm gonna say that you have I mean, this is severe harm, so like electrostatic burns.
Ooh, okay.
Just another
So-
add to the collection.
So that's
the collection.
level 3. So that is incapacity. Like somebody has to help to
Well,
do anything.
well,
You can resist these things as always.
I'm not about to take that chance. With the amount of stress I'm at, I'm not about to take that chance. Not happening.
But what does it mean? It needs help. Like we have to like somebody else will have to carry her through the rest of the mission, or is she like unconscious? Like what does that mean?
I believe it is if you try to do anything that this could interfere with, like that this harm could interfere with, you will need assistance in
Oh.
doing it.
Mm.
Okay.
So for electroplasmic burns, I think she could still move around on her
Okay.
own. She's just severely hurt. You know, like it's gonna draw attention to her that like part of her uniform is now shredded. She has these nasty bubbling burns on her. If you're not gonna be able to like tinker with something on your own. Like it's gonna get in the way of the future actions you try to take.
Gotcha.
Makeup on her face, you can see the teeth, everything's out. Fucking.
Meanwhile, I'm gathering up the spirit essence.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
thank somebody's doing the work.
I told you I was like I'm good around this ghost, but I don't like it.
Is the spirit in the bottle now, though?
Yes, she is successfully captured.
I am going to pick up the bottle, be like, mine now, and like kind of limp, or just like come back in the room. I did not like that. Just like very visibly, very hurt.
Yeah, you actually, now that you guys have a spirit bottle out, you can see that there are actually like a lot of spirit bottles on the, maybe not a lot, but there's a couple spirit bottles on the alchemy tables as well. It looks like they are distilling these spirits in their purest form into the spirit essence that you guys are now stealing.
Can I take some of the full bottles, put them in my bandolier? Just for experimenting later. Like, not for any use now, I promise.
Yeah, I think you could take one because these your bottles are pretty big. It's about the size of a loaf of bread. So I think you could fit one on your person.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. That's what I do.
Just as an update, Mara's been or Echo's been kind of just like frozen still this entire time. Being around a lot of ghosts in her line of work, she knows that there's some pretty nasty ones out there. So she's like, no idea what these things are gonna try and do. I don't want to be a part of it.
Well, we got what we needed, right?
Were we able to like collect all of the spirit essence that we need, or what's up?
Yeah, so that is a good question. How are you guys all transporting the spirit essence out of here? Are you straight up carrying boxes? Have you prepared something? Perhaps via a flashback, we can see something that you've done to make this easier. Just walk me through what you guys are doing, and then I can tell you at what stage you get.
Are there crates in the wine cellar, like crates of wine?
Yeah, I'd say that's reasonable.
Because then we could take one of the crates of wine. Sorry. And we can put the plasm in the bottom of the box, and then put the wine bottle on top. We're carrying the wine out.
Is
but
this a
what-
good idea?
But there are some guards upstairs. How should we? And pulls out a little detonation thing.
I do not think this is the answer. We do not need to blow things up. We want to be quiet.
Okay, no distraction. Exit.
That's
No
a- that's
fun,
a
apparently.
That's the last worst case scenario. Leave that if we're
I
really.
mean, I already
Julia?
have the fountain ready to blow.
If I'm hurt, Julia, can I give someone else something on my person?
Yeah.
Can I give, from my bandolier, a smoke bomb to Mara or to Echo?
Yes, you can.
Echo, here. I'm not
Throw
very.
it to me.
I'm not a very good shot right now. Here. It is not. It does not detonate in a explosive way. It's one of the less fun ones. It just will make a very thick black smoke and try to sneak through it if it's anything
This-
else goes
this
As
can
you
work with it.
guys are talking,
Oh,
you
damn
can-
it! Yeah, like.
Here, do you want to tell me what you're gonna do?
I
when
wanted
tell you?
to. I have a flashback that I was gonna like lead in. I was like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think our
yeah.
time is our exit strategy is about ready to pop, and I want to try to flashback to another conversation with Booker, where
Okay.
hey, look, I think I found a way to get the necklace, but I'm gonna need some help. We're gonna need a way out, and I need you to cut the power for this district, or at least this area of the district.
The whole district.
Just like this corner of it, like these streets.
Listen, a mansion like that isn't tied to the greater power grid. They're gonna have their own private generator room within the mansion. So when you go in, you're gonna have to sabotage that yourself. I can't do it from the outside. That one's on you.
Okay, thanks. Flashback to sabotaging the generator
Flashback
Yeah,
with
all
Mara
right.
there, the TNT, and the.
with maybe with Mara's help. Like we can like that could be the detonation. The blow up is the generator blowing up.
Yeah, I think you have. I'm gonna say this is one stress to
Okay, do that.
because I think you have opportunity to get in there, but it is still kind of risky. But I'm actually okay. I'm gonna scratch that. I'm gonna say 0 stress to sabotage it, but it's a roll. You don't just automatically get it. You guys are gonna have to do some kind of action,
Okay.
and then we're gonna see if that was successful or not.
Do
So who's doing it and what action are they gonna?
you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
I guess would I be using skirmish? What would I?
What do you got in skirmish?
3.
3? Okay, I can either.
And I'm
do,
low
I,
on stress.
I can do prowl too. Yeah, if you want to do it on real low on stress, that might.
I'm
might
gonna
help, but
say I'm
will.
gonna be the bad GM though and say like skirmish is mostly for fighting. So if you're gonna do that, it's gonna be limited effect.
I will prowl, sneak in, plant explosives with her explosive assistance, which I'm
Okay.
telling you, assistant right now.
Okay, I'll take that.
Assist me.
So she takes the stress, and I got 4 dice now to prowl in if that works, GM.
Okay, yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm gonna say that is risky standard.
Okay. All right, come on. 6, 5, 6 and 3 threes.
She's like,
Wow.
I was like, I thought there was a second 6 because one of the dice is like translucent, so it's like it was hard to see, like it changes color. So I was like, what is that? I couldn't tell.
What is
Uh,
it?
But it's 6.
Okay, so it sounds like you have a small explosive device planted in the generator room that
Yeah.
you can detonate whenever you guys want.
Yes.
Okay, I love this. I'm gonna give you guys, whenever you guys want to cue that explosion, you're more than welcome to do that. What's happening right now is you guys are trying to put this spirit essence, the last of it, into these wine boxes to carry out. There are guards thundering down the stairs. You can hear them through the wine cellar, going down the stone steps, down the corridor to investigate what that woman before was yelling. At first they thought she was just a little drunk, but like, they're right. Something isn't right. We can't find that guest. Where did he go? So yeah, there's guards coming your way.
I feel like now might be a good time.
Yeah,
Wait,
Mara's gonna
yes.
post up towards looking at the door with her rifle.
God, what do people have to say? I'm gonna shut up.
He. I mean, like, always have an option. Maybe not the best one, but I'm gonna hold up one of the spirit jars and be like, they like to break wine bottles and attack people too.
This
Just
was
get-
my thought as well. An angry ghost
They
of
might come back after.
an ex-fiance or an ex-lover. This is not very helpful for the man of the house.
I
And
thought she was just mad at you. Didn't she just like nearly kill you?
well, it's a ghost. They try to nearly kill everyone. I'm just saying, in the very short period of time we have, we are a bunch, for all they know, we are a bunch of servants, right? In the cellar, trying to get wine out. All of a sudden, 2 people are down here. A ghost pops out of nowhere, talking about how we are also here. I'm Hart, if you haven't noticed. I'm Hart, so we could also be victims. We just did not run out fast enough.
Boy just
Masks?
shrugs. It's like, oh, fucking, I don't know.
I'm gonna need a decision because these guards are coming in.
I say we blow the generator, and if we need to release the ghost to wreak some extra havoc.
Mara pulls out the little detonation thing, say, kaboom.
There is a distant and all of the lights go out in the house. You guys are left in inky darkness. You can hear the guards like scuttering. What was that? What is that? You go back, get those generators online right now. And one of them reaches out and pulls out an electroplasmic lantern so that he can flip it on and see. What do you guys do? They're still coming in, but it's dark. You've given yourself a little bit of an advantage.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit lamp. Does that give off light as well, or does it just repel ghosts? It says, spirit lamp arcane, an electroplasmic lamp with a focused beam that can repel ghosts with serious force.
Yeah, if it's electroplasmic light, then yes, it will be visible light that you can see.
Okay, then I can't do anything by myself. I would like to give this to Madame if I can for my gadgets. It's my second gadget out of 3 that I get. And then I want to take one of the spirit bottles, and throw it on the ground and like try and break it open. I'll let out the spirit.
All right.
Press that button if it gets bad.
Yeah. You can definitely do this. I'm gonna say it's desperate.
Okay.
So the goal. So the goal is to get the.
I am
The
going.
thing is, I'm having trouble like saying the like effect of like standard, because if it's just to let the ghost out, it's gonna be great. If it's to get the ghost to take out all of the guards,
Oh!
you know,
It's
who
just to
knows?
get the ghost out. I'm like, the reason I asked about the lamp thing was because I'm going with the original idea of, well, they're still coming here. Let's get a ghost out. It's attacking us. We're scared. We just have these crates of wine. But we have the thing that can push the ghost away if it does actually come after us and not the guards running into them.
Okay.
That's
so
kind
what
of my
action
thought.
are you using to let the ghost out?
I think I am going to be using. Definitely, I can't talk about Tinker. That's not a good one. That's not. I think I am going to use. I'll say this, but I don't think I'll be allowed. Study, if I can, because I looked at it to know if I could break it while throwing it on the ground. Because I don't know what material it was made out of. Yeah, I didn't think so. That's
If
fine.
yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
I didn't think so. I was trying to talk you into it. It's fine. I mean, I guess I'll use skirmish, but I don't have anything in skirmish, which is the problem.
I'll help. I can help in whatever
wreck?
way.
Is wreck a thing?
I think wreck is, if you're smashing it, that's the one that makes the most sense to me.
Okay. I also don't have anything in wreck, so.
I'll help by, I guess, like being prepared to use the.
I'm also willing to give you a devil's bargain as well if you're interested.
I'll take it. Why not? Let's make it a little spicy. What's Devil's bargain me up.
The devil's bargain is that the spirit trapped in this bottle is Tink.
Do it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, ouch.
Okay, so that gives you 1 die. Madame, are you still assisting?
I can still help, yeah.
Okay. All
So I
right,
have
then go ahead and
two.
take 1 stress. You get 2 to get this ghost out and see how it goes for you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna say this is desperate because ghost scary. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, well, what's a TTRPG without some emotional damage? Well, 1 fell on the ground. Can I re-roll that if I don't look at it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I re-roll all of them if I don't look at all of them?
Well, it's gone, so I'll just use the other one that I have sitting here. It's gone. Oh, that one was a 6. The other one was a 2.
Oh, thank God for you guys.
Yeah, really.
Okay, yeah, so the spirit bottle shatters and there's this swirl of electroplasmic energy, you know, like it's like the spirit's energy is like interacting with the lights that have gone out, and they start to like flicker and spark, and you can see like the glows cast on everyone's scared faces as Tink's body, or well, I guess like his form materializes in front of you all, and he's like a caged animal, you know, that's just been set free, confused, scared, lashing out. Because you guys are all in the presence of a ghost, this is still gonna apply of like the flee or freeze resistance, but the thing is the same is gonna go for the guards. So I'm gonna say there's like probably 2 of them that have been sent down because 1 was sent back to go check on the generator. So I'm gonna roll for each of them as well to see if they are able to kind of resist these effects, or if they're gonna flee or freeze as well.
I'm
So-
frozen. Play that now.
1 failed. He saw 1 sight of this ghost, and just like stumbling back, like dropped and then like scrambled up the stairs to get out of here, bumping into stuff. You can hear crashes of the wine on his way out as he knocks things over in the dark. The other is kind of more like he's the head of the guard. He has seen some shit, maybe even is involved with this Path of Echoes shit. Like, who knows? And he pulls out a Spirit Bane charm around his neck and, like protection of himself. And he is gonna pull out a gun too and point it at the first person he sees, which who's standing in front?
I think I'd be in front. I was thinking aim at
he's
him.
pointing it at Mara, ready to fire.
Can we
You've
do
got
who
seconds,
who pulls trigger first roll?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll roll d6 and you can roll d6 and whoever gets higher pulls trigger first.
Actually, so how things work in Blades is it's like double duty rolls. So your action roll is going to determine the results for both you and your opponent. So I'm going to say this is desperate because if you fuck up, you could get a bullet to like, somewhere vital. But standard, you're good with the gun. You know what you're doing. Standard effect.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So would this be using skirmish then? Or
I think that's the one that makes the most sense to me.
Okay. All right. 3 dice, or I do have a little bit more stress that I can take.
I feel like we're gonna take a lot more stress in the next couple,
Yeah,
seconds.
but like a bullet to the head, I'm not gonna take the stress. But like a bullet to the head, that sounds kind
That's a
of
lot of stress.
Ow! I got
Oh,
a
that was
6, a 3, and a 1.
All right, a 6.
And I
That is a
stubbed my
success.
toe.
Oh,
That's your
Are
consequence.
you trying to go for a
For
kill
killing.
shot?
Yes.
Okay. So that
There's
it
already
just-
one ghost in the room. What's a couple more?
Okay, well, so the reason and your character would know this is why I'm gonna telegraph this to you ahead of time. If you kill someone, the spirit bells are gonna ring, and then the entire, spirit wardens are gonna rush to this location to,
Okay.
arrest who's ever involved, capture the spirit before it separates from the body, yada yada. So
That'd
that's
be
gonna
really
bring more
mean and-
attention.
If I shoot him in the throat, he might live for like a couple more, like a minute or so.
I don't know.
He wouldn't be able to scream either. I
Gut
don't
shots do
know.
take a while to heal.
Gunshots
Or
take
to-
a while to heal, but they bleed out. You bleed out really
Yeah, they
slow.
take a
Mario's seen some shit. She knows where to point that gun.
Fuck.
She's gonna go for the brutal, still alive but unable to scream shot.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, with a 6, you do that. This man is incapacitated, just like gurgling up blood. Not dead yet, but like
Dead.
struggling after you guys. Okay, so you've got some crates of spirit essence. And everyone except for Mira, who can't really do anything on her own, but she can move along with you. You guys have these crates. You're carrying them back up. Tink's ghost is there though, so I don't know if you just want to try to flee, or
Flee?
what
I
are you
rip
guys
off
doing?
the warding necklace off of the dude.
Marcus?
Yeah, what is the spirit thing necklace do? Spirit Bane charm do? Or what are the benefits, if any?
It's kind of vague, but let me Google it.
I mean,
right quick so that
if we can just flee and not be...
Yeah, if we can just flee that, I think
I
that'd
have the lamp too. Could I turn on the
Oh.
lamp to keep the ghost away from us? That
yeah,
Goggles
okay.
gave me.
Aubrey, could you read what the lamp does one more time for me?
The lamp of the spirit lamp, an electroplasmic lamp with a focused beam that can repel ghosts with serious force.
Okay, yeah, if you guys point this lamp at Tink, you can get him. I think I'll make. I think it's still a roll, but yeah,
Wait.
you can get Tink to like flee away from you with this lamp.
Can I use finesse because I'm jiggling it around in a cool way to ward him off?
Let me really
I can't
quickly...
help. Goggles is like standing there
I feel like close
staring.
enough to sleight of hand. It's a focus beam. I'll give you this, yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna say that it's still risky, but standard attack.
Okay. Let's hope for the best. I got a 4, a little better than a 3.
Yeah. All right.
Love that face.
What's your AC? No.
No, I'm just saying. I don't want to hurt you, but
I don't want to hurt you. But
It's
I will.
okay.
I mean, you aim this beam of electroplasmic light at Tink, and you know, like I said, you know, like caged animal lashing out. He's already, you know, making this electronics around him spark with light on and off. When the light hits him, that like there's like an explosions of spark that start a fire in the alchemy lab. You guys have to get out quickly, or you're gonna pass out from smoke inhalation.
Running.
I think it's time to run, my friends.
Run,
Yeah, we'll just like
run.
throw open the door and sprint out with these crates.
Void just grabs Goggles by the hand as he, like, has to pull her away from Tink.
But as you're
Like, you-
pulling her, she's like reaching, going, Marcus! But she goes with you.
Like Void looks back at you. I'm sorry.
You
Just, like,
do.
pulls.
It's the first time she's cried, but she's crying now. She hasn't cried since he
Could you
guys,
two be any slower?
you emerge from the wine cellar, and most of who you see in this immediate area are, you know, other caterers, maids and servants of the houses, or of the house. I'm gonna say there's like a guard around the corner that you can hear. There's one that is like just, there was a, oh God, you know, still recovering from seeing Tink, and another one that's like, tell me what happened. They don't immediately see you yet, but like in a few seconds will.
Can I lead a?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I lead a group action to stealth past them as we run, like kind of sneak through the darkness since all the lights are off, and like get
Oh yeah, the lights are all
Mhm.
off.
get like
yeah,
back
no,
to
you're
the-
right. That's
to
totally.
the servant entrance, because we're like in the kitchen now. We could probably just like get out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. Are you gonna do prowl?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I think a group action is a great idea. I'm gonna say that this is risky standard. Do you guys all remember how well, actually for our audience, you know, we haven't done a group action yet in the thing. So how this works is everyone is gonna roll the same action rating prowl. Justin is going to take a stress for each person that fails this roll.
And we each roll
So-
1 dice?
No.
You roll
one.
whatever your action rating for prowl is.
Okay.
All right. I'll be fine. With,
I'm sorry, friend.
even if you all fail, I'd be fine. And I got a 6, so we have a high. Oh.
My highest roll in the game, a 5.
Hey.
Aubrey failed.
I mean,
got
she
a-
is very injured.
I got a 6 and a 4.
6. So just 1 stress.
I got a
Yeah, just one stress.
1. Didn't do too well on that one.
I know. I'm like guiding her, and she like. trips
Goggles
on
is
a
very
spider.
upset.
I'm like and like picks her up. That's where the stress comes from. Before she like you know misses like knocking over some like glasses that would have tumbled and fallen. So like, I was like, let's go.
Yeah, you guys like slink through the darkness. Like some people are trying to like switch on electroplasmic lamps, but I mean like these are rich people that are used to like their generators just working. They haven't gotten them back on line yet. And there's this one moment where you guys are like sneaking down the servants' corridor to like get to the exit, and the guards pass right by you. You know, they literally like you have to press yourselves up against the wall, but they're like, you know, they're so focused they just go right on by, and you're like, and then you make it out to the servants' door. You're still carrying these, you know, wine boxes. You're not exactly super inconspicuous right now. How are you guys making your getaway?
Is there a servant cart that we see, like a servant's cart that we see nearby, or
Flashback
like
to
anything?
setting up a servant's cart.
That's zero stress. Yeah, you guys get a servant's cart.
Perfect.
Great.
We'll just
I
like
just-
pretend we're loading wine.
Yeah, pretending to load wine.
I
Maybe
like
put
load.
goggles
in,
in
like, the
first.
pitch black.
Yeah, I load goggles in.
Mara runs up to the front,
Yeah.
takes the reins. Standard procedure, and
Okay, so having a vehicle is something that like would require you to get in, like it's called acquire an asset. So
How that works right now? How do we acquire assets? Sorry, I know you were going to.
that is a good question that I totally remember the answer to offhand.
You know
because I'm
everything.
such a good GM.
Yeah.
Can I just like acquire like? Can I flash back to like my friend and be like, hey, can you? Since you didn't help me before, just told me they're
Oh yeah,
generators.
like you want him there with like a police carriage that
Yeah.
like he
Yeah.
can transport you in.
Yeah, can I flashback that instead?
yeah,
since you
I
can do
think-
the grid, I could be like, hey.
that
can you,
sounds like if you're trying to get Booker to do it, that sounds like more of a social role. Let me just, I mean, or you know, we can, however you think your character would have done it. If you can make sense, I don't want to force you into anything. Let me just double check, but I think, you know, however you're going about acquiring it, you roll that action roll,
Yeah.
and then your result determines like the quality of the thing that you are retrieving. So we just need to make sure that it's a high enough roll. So I'm gonna double check the rules on that while you tell us how you're acquiring this carriage.
So continuing after the conversation where he's like, "Yeah, you need to get the generators." I'm like, well, I mean, could you at least do something useful for us? Like maybe, maybe you could be there like at the end, and we could like, you know, get some sort of car. It doesn't have to be a police car if that's too much. Just some sort of car. It's on. It's 4 days from now. Do you think you could, you know, be off work or something?
All right, what role are you doing?
I'm gonna push myself to do it because I don't have anything in like any, you know, social stuff. So sway, I guess, right?
All right, yeah, that makes
With
sense to me.
One die. All right.
Julia, I am just letting you know your camera has gone out for
Yeah, but
me
look,
for
I
sure.
look so excited.
You do.
I-
It's
let me
a
try.
4. It's a
There we
4,
go, you're back.
Okay, there we go.
So. Okay, not great. Not. Well, she's frozen again, I think.
Okay,
no,
no,
gosh.
sorry, I was reading the rules. Okay, so, you. It's a lot of GM deciding stuff. Basically, you guys are going to have to pay some coin in addition to procuring this vehicle. So I believe you guys started off with 2 coin as a crew. You kind of gotta like bet the house. You gotta like
Spend
you
it.
know pay what you guys got to make sure that this job works.
We have to pay both. Just one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you have to roll, or you have to pay both because it's
Okay.
gonna be pricey to get. Like Booker can't do it because he is, you know, tied up with, you know, he's
Yeah.
kind of like on thin ice himself. He helps out a lot,
I
so
know he
he's
does.
gotta like
Still
watch out
useless.
for himself. But so he's like all right, I got a buddy.
Correct me again.
He's always willing to, you know, do shit for the right price. So like 1 coin for the vehicle, 1 coin for the driver, essentially. But yeah, you guys are able to load up on these crates, and yeah, I think after doing that, paying that coin, I think that's it. I mean, I think you guys did it. You got the spirit essence.
So I think this was a job well done.
Echo pulls out a cigarette, flips open her Zippo lighter, lights it, and then hands one to Madame as well.
Thank you.
Excuse me?
Goggles just kind of sit in the back.
I know you got 4-packs because I got one of them already. She'll pull out one. I just need the lighter.
And as we're going about, she then pulls out the photo of her deceased husband, takes one more puff of the cigarette, kind of lights the photo on fire, and flicks it off the back. Well, Madame, I guess it's time for me to go find my children. Be the
Hey.
mother I couldn't have been.
Wait. You have kids?
Is this in the game? Yes, I have kids.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm impressed. I don't know if I would have done that job with the kids.
I don't know why my husband did this job with our kids. In fact, since I defected away from the army, he didn't know I was still alive.
My husband did this job for kids. I would recommend you find them.
A
Good
long
work.
time. Couldn't have done it without you guys.
You know I will be a continued friend, and I will assist you in whatever way you need. Just write.
If you ever need anything built, my desk, come to me.
Thank you. And, yes, can I have that other cigar box back, please? Cigarette box.
She'll toss it back to you.
Grabs it out of there and shoots it back, kind of like.
What? It looked fun. What can I say?
I just like to recommend that if you don't want to take anything off my person. not too
Yeah, I
safe.
got that by the yeah, little. I don't know what half the stuff does. It looks cool, but anyway, that brings me to a thing, Madame. Where's
Yes.
my where's the thing I need?
So, Julia, where's the thing?
Funny story.
You were saying that I would probably have known, like, where it could have been, like, either sold or going to be sold.
Yeah, so the thing is, Julia, as the GM, didn't decide these details either. So I think we can kind of like collectively decide as a group that you're able to figure those things out. But I am curious though. I assume you guys take, the spirit essence back to your hidden layer.
Mm-hmm.
Job well done. There's still the matter of,
The Dimmer sisters.
yeah, the Dimmer sisters. What do you guys do from here on out? Because I mean, these are the people that are responsible for killing your husband. So is it as simple as handing
Kill
it
them all.
off?
Oh, I want revenge.
That's
100%.
a time for another job.
That's
though.
for widows too.
But I
I
will
see.
say, I mean, this is a one shot, so it doesn't necessarily. I mean, we can do a little like narrative finessing. If you guys want to have a good comeback moment, I'm not going to stand in your way and be like, well, according to the game. Blah, blah, blah."
I think Mara's story has been said.
I plant a bomb.
I was going to say I will send a note to my contact at the Dimmer Sisters with a pickup location for the package, and if you would like to put a bomb inside of it, remotely detonated, as soon as it is out of range, you'll at least have one person.
They'd come back for you though, Madame.
Well, it is what it is. I do not have my husband anymore. My family does not like me and will not own. allow me to live with them, I imagine. I don't know if you are aware, but they blame me fully for his death. And
Maybe we. Oh, sorry.
no.
Eli, how about this? You let me blow them up and put a target on your head, and you can stay with me, and I'll booby trap the whole house.
That would be very fun.
Roommates.
As long as I get the necklace, I'm fine. You can
Yes.
take whatever you'd like.
You will have the necklace. Your name will not be a part of this at all. No one will know it was you. It was only on me.
Well, I appreciate it, Madame. That's very noble.
I am anything but noble.
All right, I love it. Okay, so yeah, I think it's time for our wrap up. Normally in a blade session, we would do like the payoff of the job. We go through your heat and entanglements because this is just kind of a one shot. We're just going to do some things narratively. So, yeah, I mean, you guys bomb the Dimmer sisters. I kind of like the idea of maybe you put the bomb in the, boxes of spirit essence and they take it back to the manor
Yeah.
and you like blow it up there and it blows up part of their manor
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
It's, like, a ton of damage.
You know,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, it's up to you because it's also like the constraints of the world. But I think it would be funny if it not an explosion, just like a large chunk is just missing now. It's just gone.
Yeah.
Like-
Wow.
Like in
Like
that scary,
something-
like all of a sudden there's just a large, very
Crater.
large chunk of land and mass gone. Like it's
That's
just
epic.
like a mini black hole, just like.
yeah. And I watched from a distance away. Like,
I think we all would have watched from a distance away. We would have like been on a hill.
Smoking your cigarettes.
yeah, everyone has this fucking cigarette.
And I think, I imagine what you found in the vault was more than what you were necessarily expecting. This was more than what the Dimmer sisters were owed. So, you gave them some spirit essence and, lost that in the explosion. But you also had some on the side that you were able to pay off. So you got some coin back after this. Mira, you got enough to get back your lab, and you're carrying back your equipment. It's going to take some time to get it back up to shape and get your research going again.
Fix everything.
You're back home. You got it back. Void, you are, Madam hands. Oh, actually, do we want to do that scene of Madam handing over the necklace?
Sure.
She was
Ramona?
wearing it the whole time.
Should have killed you when you came to my apartment.
I'm gonna how I'll do it is I'll knock again, just like the first time.
At the door, and this time it's like you could see the end of it, like poking through the other side of the door.
What is this a way to create an old friend?
Pulls the knife out and unlocks like 4 locks. I mean, I knew it was you this time. I saw you outside.
Ah, well, I think I have something that you would like, and
Better.
I'm going to hold it up, but very far away.
She twists the blade in her fingers, and then sheathes it. Please.
Very good, and I'll drop it in your hand. It was a pleasure working with you, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was exhilarating. It was fun to be back out on the prowl.
And this is why our husbands did it too.
Yeah. And she looks back at the piles of money that's she was counting on at the desk. It's yeah. That's pretty worth it too, I guess.
Yeah. Get yourself out of trouble, and maybe come over for tea sometime.
As long as there's no Dimmer sisters there.
That was supposed to be my screw
I
up.
know. I did it in honor since we made it through without it.
I think we've sent a message to the Zimmer sisters.
Me too. Don't worry.
And she'll take the necklace and put it in one of her pockets in the book. So tea?
Tea?
All right. Let me know.
I will.
And she'll give a nod.
And
then, go ahead.
hopefully Goggles won't poison it.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't come over for tea. We'll see.
It's for the research.
I will see.
Goggles peers around the corner.
Yeah, and I imagine a scene, you know, like you hand off the necklace to Booker, who takes care of the ship for you. We cut to like a court hearing, and you've already paid off the magistrates, you know, with the extra coin you made. So you're found not guilty. A clank of the gavel, and you're free to go. Off to get into some more trouble.
Was Matthias also found not guilty? Like, because I assume post-mortemly he was up for trial. I don't know how that works. But...
Yeah, I actually don't know how it works either. But I'm gonna say they kind of acquit you both.
Nice. And then goes over and has tea.
And Mara, what is do you have any like wrap up stuff? Anything with your kid?
So Mara probably took the money and whatever money she did get and went over to Skelvland, where she knows her family was. So you can kind of picture a scene where she's kind of just, in an alleyway, just kind of smoking a cigarette until a little, like, almost like factory worker, like little kid, orphan, obviously, runs by and just kind of drops like a little note. She catches it out of the air and she flips it open, and there's a 4-digit address dash from C. So from her old commander who's been helping her, kind of basically protecting the family. And so she goes there. It's like the top floor of some orphanage, to where she opens the door and she sees her 2 kids and her commander sitting there. And we'll close it there.
I love it. All right.
In 4 years since she's seen her kids.
Oh, it's so good. It's you right in the feels. It does. Madam Mask, is there anything on your side of things like you want to leave us with?
I think the very last thing that I would do is I'd walk up to my wonderful mother-in-law, and I'm going to just like look her in the eyes, and I'm going to say, I loved your son so much. It hurt me so much when he died, and now you do this to me, and I'm...
I've been
Dies
poisoned.
right there.
I am just overcome with emotion. I cannot believe that you would assume that I do not care for your son the way you do. He loved me, and that was never enough for you. I hope you have a great rest of your life, and I hope no more of your children die. But it will never be my fault. And I'm gonna walk away.
Oh shit.
I think the last thing she leaves you with is, you're right. It wasn't enough. She's a bitter lady.
What a bitch.
Yeah, she doesn't forgive easily.
She also have the nose.
Yes, absolutely. It runs in the family.
She's who we're going after
Pumpkin
next.
nose.
She's the big bad. It's her.
I mean, she's the head of a Scotland or crime syndicate.
That's,
She's gotta be,
She is
fierce.
that is cool.
Damn.
All right. Well, I think that is this was so amazing, guys. Thank you so much for playing with me. This was
Thank
really
you!
phenomenal.
No, yeah,
Thank
no, thank
you!
you.
Thank you so much.
Killed it. Like,
Everyone needs. I hope everyone's cheering for you in the comments when they're commenting. Everyone
I'll
in
cheer for
chat, I'll
myself.
talk to you now. You best be cheering for her. If you're not, you're getting timed out.
You're getting timed out.
You're gonna be sitting there like in chat when you post. It's like, all right, come on, you. better
Text
be-
Hardy and Varun. Anyone who doesn't cheer for
I
Julia,
mean, you
instant
could do
ban.
it too.
Yeah.
You could do it too, because
That's what I mean.
You're not like actively streaming. You just be like, here we go.
Ban. But yes, thank you, Julia. Thank you for she did so much work for this. Like you did so much work, and I appreciate it so much.
But
It was
also-
awesome. It was so much fun. I loved it. This was better than I could have imagined.
It went great.
And thank you
Thank you.
to everyone else.
Well, thank you,
Justin.
Aubrey, because you did a ton of work too for
Yes.
I-
this
Thank you,
live
Aubrey.
recording and all the setups and all that stuff.
No.
Like you guys did awesome. Everybody.
Thank you to Justin! Justin. You can find him
Mark Justin.
there. Thank you to Shannon, our beautiful resident, the Californian tanned beauty.
You're there for me.
Shannon. You can find her things there. And thank you to Austin, our resident anime king,
Yeah, I
as
don't know
well
where that
as
came from. I'm
well,
a
that's what
resident
Julia said.
engineer.
I don't know, I feel like-
I was getting there, and I was gonna say, and our insider at NASA was what I was gonna say, but
Yeah.
fine. But that is Austin, AUSTON. That's how you spell his name. You can find him at those places if there are any, because
Yeah, I
I
was gonna
haven't
say
made
there
those
aren't.
commands yet. If there is an
Make the Twitter, Austin.
command, I'm gonna have it linked to a really cute picture of a cat. So be there for it. But yeah, thank you everyone so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. And it's only gonna get, if we do this again, it's only gonna get better from here. It's gonna be great. So
Should we do the
That's all.
really corny like YouTube thing where it's like, all right, and see you next time? We all put our hands up. to
yeah. No, we'll just say bye. So we can all say bye. Ready? Bye.